But yes, it is Monday. Yes, it's every reason for us to celebrate because we are blessed with another morning and another dose of that thing we call life. So breathe it in and enjoy all the magic that you are presented with. And of course, it's time to chat to you, Mzansi. Monday morning, a fresh question. Obviously, with load shedding, we've got some practical tips. And we want to know from you, you've got 30 minutes left before load shedding hits. So what are you going to prepare, and what meal can you prepare that's meat-free for this Monday? Oh, the challenge is on. Come through with some suggestions. Use that WhatsApp line. It's 063-408-8863 because we want to know from you. 30 minutes to spare before load shedding hits. We want to know what meat-free Monday meal you can cook up and make sure it's something delicious. Come through with all the tips that you can. We also got voice notes, and of course, we're going to be helping you along the way because the kitchen is getting prepped for another dose of magic to serve you with all these meat-free specials. For now, though, it's time to kick off with official duties, and Zoe's standing by with the latest.
Thank you, Raul. Starting off with national headlines. Activity in the private sector in January contracted at its fastest pace since the end of 2021 as new orders fell due to rolling power cuts and weak economic conditions, a survey showed on Friday. S&P Global's SA Purchasing Managers Index contracted to 48.7% in January from 50.2% in December. Readings below 50 indicate a contraction in activity. Power outages caused further disruptions to supply chains and curtailed business activity, S&P said. Eskom has implemented power cuts every day this year after a record number of days with outages in 2022. And staying with our local news, Deputy President David Mabuza has confirmed that he has resigned as Deputy President of the country. The presidency says President Ramaphosa has, however, requested him to remain in office until transition to a new Deputy President has been finalized. The ANC caucus has welcomed 4 new members to service in the National Assembly. They are ANC Deputy President Paul Mashatile, Second Deputy General, Secretary General Maropene Ramokgopa, and NEC member Sihle Zikalala and Parks Tau. Speculation is rife that Ramaphosa will reshuffle his cabinet in the next few days. Moving to news abroad, Pope Francis wound up a peace mission to South Sudan yesterday, urging people to be immune to the venom of hatred and to achieve the peace and prosperity that have eluded them through the years of bloody ethnic conflicts. The 86-year-old pontiff pleaded with the crowd of some 70,000 people at an open-air mass to shun the blind fury of violence. South Sudan has been wrecked by civil war since becoming independent in 2011. And Pakistan's former president Pervez Musharraf's last remains will be transported to Pakistan on a special flight from the United Arab Emirates. Musharraf died yesterday morning at the age of 79 in Dubai's hospital after a long illness. He took control of the Pakistan government after a coup in 1999 and was president of the country from 2001 to 2008. He was known for his support of America's war on terror after the 9/11 attacks. Pakistan's Prime Minister and the country's military leaders have expressed condolences to Musharraf's family. And the roads and skies of many cities in China were alight in color when Lunar New Year's celebrations came to a close on the 15th day of the first lunar month, which was yesterday. The Lantern Festival, or the Xiaozhaiji in Mandarin Chinese, is the grand finale in the weeks-long celebration when people light lanterns to symbolize driving out darkness and bringing in hope for the coming year. It also marks the departure of winter and the beginning of spring. It's said that the transition gained popularity during China's Han Dynasty some 2,000 years ago. Each year has a corresponding animal from the Chinese zodiac. Last year it was the year of the tiger, and 2023 is the year of the rabbit in Chinese culture. The rabbit is known to be the luckiest of all the 12 animals. It symbolizes mercy, elegance, and beauty. So thumbs up to the year of the rabbit. May it bring us mercy, elegance, and beauty. Well, on that note, that's where I leave your morning headlines. Let's take a first look at your sport.
Thank you so much, Zoe. Of course, it's time to take a look at all the happenings when it comes to this weekend and sporting action. And starting off with soccer news, Manchester City's bid to chop Arsenal's Premier League lead to 2 points was unsuccessful as Harry Kane's record-breaking goal earned Tottenham Hotspur a 1-0 win over the champions. Now, Kane's 15th-minute effort made him the North London club's all-time top goal scorer with 267, taking him past former great Jimmy Greaves, whose record had stood since 1970. Now, Man United, meanwhile, recorded their 13th home win in a row after beating Palace 2-1. Now, Arsenal also downed 1-0 by Everton, and Liverpool lost 3-0 to Wolves, and Chelsea drew 0-0 with Fulham on the day. Sticking to soccer news and soccer action, but keeping it local right now, Mamelodi Sundowns continued their impressive winning streak following their 1-0 victory over a spirited Orlando Pirates outfit. Now, Cassius Mailula with the goal as Downs made it 15 wins in a row, and Kaizer Chiefs missed out on the chance to go fourth in the DStv Premiership after playing out to a goalless draw with 10-man TS Galaxy. Now, SuperSport United claimed a 2-0 win over Cape Town City, and the result secured by a first-half strike from Tapelo Maseko and a bizarre late own goal, which saw Matsatsansa break a 4-match winless streak in the league and rise to second place on the standings. Well, from all our soccer action, we head over to rugby news, and moving over abroad now, defending champions France came from behind to avoid a shock defeat against Italy in a thrilling Six Nations game. Now, the Azzurri led 24-22 before Matteo Jalibert sniped over from close range as France claimed a bonus point 29-24 win. Other news, England's Steve Borthwick era got off to an inauspicious start on Saturday as 2 superb tries by Duan van der Merwe helped a tenacious Scotland to a famous 29-23 victory at the Twickenham. Now, Ireland scored 3 tries in the opening 20 minutes and cruised to a 34-10 bonus point victory over Wales. Well, from our rugby action, we head over to the local cricket news and action of the weekend, where Joburg Super Kings captain Faf du Plessis showed his class and experience with a match-winning 92 from 61 balls on a very difficult Wanderers pitch to set his side up for a 24-run win in the SA20 clash against the Sunrisers Eastern Cape and qualification for the playoffs. Now, the home side posted 160 for 6 and restricted the visitors to 136 for 9, all thanks to Carl Simmons taking 3 wickets for 23 runs. Now, elsewhere, Durban's Super Giants kept their semi-final hopes alive with a 151-run win over the Pretoria Capitals, and Heinrich was the standout player, made 104 not out as the Durban side posted a massive 254 runs for only 4 wickets. Now, the Capitals were reduced to 103 all out, with Junior Dala taking 3 wickets on the day. Well, that's a roundup of all the sporting action. We will touch base in the next hour. For now, though, it's time to take a look at the news. Well, the news when it comes to weather. And here's Zoe with the latest.
Thank you, Raul. And let's take a look at some news. Forecasters say the coldest wind chill ever has been recorded in the U.S. as an Arctic cold snap freezes a swath of North America. The National Weather Service said the icy gusts of Mount Washington in New Hampshire on Friday produced a wind chill of minus 78 degrees Celsius. It affected some 100 million people across the northeastern US and Canada. Authorities warned of frostbite that could strike in under 10 minutes. The Weather Service added that the actual temperatures on the summit of Mount Washington was down to minus 43 degrees Celsius, the coldest ever recorded there. Even New York City did not escape the extreme chill. The Big Apple saw wind chills as low as minus 23 degrees Celsius and even enacted an emergency designation that allowed the homeless to go and to shelters to seek warmth. Forecasters have predicted that temperatures will rebound from today. Bringing it back home from your weather news, we now turn our attention to your sunrise views. So first up this morning is Elise de Beer, who shared this spectacular sunrise from Gauteng. Look at that blazing sun. Then Angie Primrose shared this eerie view as the sky begins to light up the day. And Famida sent through this pinky cloudy day. This photo was taken in Westville. And finally, Frank Buerta sent through this stunning photo of the morning sky reflecting across the Hartbeespoort Dam in Pretoria. Well, if you have a sunrise view to share with us, please do so on our WhatsApp line, 063 408 8863. That is our WhatsApp number. But let's get into today's temperatures. If you're in Polokwane, 16 is your low, 29 your high. Mbombela, expect some rain, 18 with a high of 29. Pretoria, 16, reaching a high of 30. Johannesburg, 14, reaching a high of 28. Mahikeng, 18, 31. Klerksdorp, 17 with a high of 31. If you're in Kimberley, 20 is your low, 22 your high. Bloemfontein, 15, reaching a high of 31. Richards Bay, partly cloudy with some rain, a low of 22, a high of 30. Pietermaritzburg, 15, reaching a high of 30. If you're in Durban, 22 is your low and a high of 29 can be expected. Mthatha, 19, reaching a high of 31. East London, 24 with a high of 28. Cradock, 19 with a high of 35. If you're in Gqeberha, your low is 21, your high 27. George, rainy conditions, 19 with a high of 25 for today. Cape Town, 18, 28. Worcester, 18, 34. Sutherland, a low of 11, a high of 28. And if you're in Uppington, 22 is your low and 37 degrees Celsius, that is your high for today. Well, that's where we leave your weather. We'll bring you another update shortly after 7.
All right, of course, we are getting straight into the magic. The G-Man's just rolled in. The man's getting mic'd up. Of course, all of us had something to talk about this weekend, and I know that's possibly why he's been late. We'll find out soon, so don't worry, Mzansi, but we do have a lot for you to stand by for. Of course, we're announcing a winner straight after this. It's a spa voucher that you definitely want to get your hands on. And of course, Roy Simpson's here for the current affairs. How you feeling, boy?
Oh, buddy, after Jimmy Greaves' record was taken last night by a certain Harry Kane, feeling fantastic this morning. There is a little pot of gold at the end of that rainbow. Now, we'll get into all of the sport and the latest headlines breaking across South Africa and the world. Roy Simpson has also stepped in for that. So we'll tackle the headlines after this.
Harry Kane!
Come on, son!
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked. The start of a brand new week means to broach a brand new week's set of headlines, and we're going to tackle those headlines right now. The start of a new week, we like to keep you updated with the very latest news that is trending across the front pages of our newspapers across Mzansi, and we're back with seasoned news editor Royce Simpson as we discuss some of the biggest headlines that got the nation talking and certainly will have us talking this week. And of course, we encourage you to please join the conversation. You can use our WhatsApp line to drop any voice notes, 063-408-8863. Kenny Kunene. Can I just leave it there? I'm emblazoned in bold neon lights. Wow. Fill us in. What is going on? I don't think we thought we'd see that name in this position again.
In such a credible position. I mean, the member of a mayoral committee, the biggest city in the country. No, I don't know that we necessarily saw that. I mean, a man with what a history. The whole issue of how he dealt with women, that sushi, serving sushi on women's bodies. So there's that. There's also him calling Julius Malema a cockroach, which he was just taken out in court the other day for. So those are quite egregious in terms of the Constitution. He really is not a pleasant person from a constitutional point of view. So in that sense, no, it's not ideal to have him there. But it's coalition politics. We shouldn't be that surprised. He's serving under a mayor whose party represents less than 1% of the total vote. And that's how coalition politics goes.
So we can expect a few more surprises there. Obviously, a very big week moving up to the State of the Nation. So what do we expect? Obviously, the Speaker speaking to a few seating arrangements that need to be sorted out. We're going to obviously see a lot of politicking moving into this phase from both sides. How are you seeing this week playing out? And is there any major red flags that we need to be worried about moving into this week? Surely we should have at least one day of power.
We should over the day of the State of the Nation address, we should have running electricity. I think they'll throw as much diesel at that as they need to keep the lights on for everybody. Yeah, I think before we even get to SONA, though, I'd like to hope that the question of leadership gets dealt with, the cabinet reshuffle.
Sure.
Otherwise, anything that he says, that the president says in his SONA address, is going to be seen through that lens of, well, who's going to execute this? Because that'll make a big difference, yeah.
What is his main focus in light of what we've been through over the last couple of weeks in particular? What do you see his key points are? How is he going to set this up?
In terms of like the zeitgeist, in terms of what's bothering you and I, he has to deal with the question of the electricity crisis. That's the one crisis he has to deal with. And I'm not quite sure what he's going to do that's new there. It's been, what, 3 or 4 SONAs since he promised to unbundle Eskom, and that was going to be the solution. We haven't seen that come into play. Then the other crises that are running crises, the gender-based violence crisis, he has to address that. That hasn't gone away for anybody. And he needs to address the question of policing resources in that sense, and perhaps the question of corruption within the police. That's a tough one to deal with. I'm not quite sure how he'll tackle that.
Do you see a different approach to anything? Because we've addressed these many, many times before. Is there anything in the build-up to this particular moment in time that leads you to believe we're going to see any kind of different response to what we've seen in the past, or is it going to be more of the same, do you think?
I'm afraid probably
Does he have any tools to use to change the approach?
No, he seems to run to the same toolkit every time. He operates a bit, Cyril Ramaphosa operates a bit like a prime minister rather than executive state president. So it's ruled by committee, for example. So when it comes to the cost of living crisis, you know, we'll probably look at a committee to look into how retailers set their prices, a committee to look into the fuel price. So that's kind of going to be the response. In general, no, I'm not expecting much in the way of novelty or excitement or anything that's really convincing in terms of solving these problems.
We might see a few dramatic headlines on the day when the EFF is concerned. Of course, they've proclaimed, I don't want to get this wrong, that Ramaphosa should never find peace for having violated the Constitution. Is that the day that he's going to get his comeuppance? Do you expect any kind of volatile behavior or anything to happen on the day to use this opportunity?
Oh, absolutely. They're going to disrupt
the
events in Parliament as usual. It's standard for their playbook. It's worked for them. They moved from 6.5% in Parliament to 10.8%. ultimately, their sort of DNA is that they're a fascist party, so they need to be seen to be oppressed. They also need to deflect from the VBS scandal, but they need, you know, when they get thrown out of Parliament, that's just proof that the system is broken and they are the alternative. So it'll work for them. They'll do exactly what they've done in the past. So for those of us waiting to hear Sona, it's probably going to be an extra half hour, 45 minutes of circus before we get to do that.
Yep, so the social media airwaves will be as, I think, stimulated as the local newspapers, but we love it. It is a very important week for South Africa. Lots of international news breaking this morning as well. We'll touch on that in just a moment.
Thank you, Graham. Well, if I can quote Coco Chanel, she said it best. The best color in the world is the one that looks good on you. Now, I'm getting ready today, and I thought, why not let me introduce you to some of my favorite products that I've been using. So let's start off with Clinique's Even Better Pop Lipstick. Now, this shade, it is called Roses Are Red, and it really is the easiest way to boost your confidence, add that perfect pop of color if you're especially heading out on a Valentine's Day date night. And then, of course, when it comes to our W Beauty, a bit of blush is always what I love. This color is called Peach Mulba, and what's amazing is it's formulated from sparkly micro mold powders, and it is designed to add color and definition to your cheeks. So you just take your brush, dab lightly, and then go onto the apples of your cheeks. There we go. See? Very easy. And then lastly, in order to smell good, I think this fragrance from Marc Jacobs is absolutely perfect. In fact, it is called Perfect, and it is a floral scent that really celebrates that optimism of self-acceptance and originality. I love the packaging. I mean, I'm here for anything that's got a little kitty cat on it, but it's also got a cute little domino, a banana, a shoe, it's just a lot of fun. So I'm going to give it a little spritz. Ooh. There we go. And I got told never to rub, so you need to spray on both sides. There we go. Well, why don't you spoil yourself or your loved one with these beautiful gifts? And these are all available from Woolworths. You can shop them between now and the 14th of February and get 25% off 2 selected beauty products. And this offer is available in store, it's available online as well as on the Woolies app. There are some T's and C's that apply, but do go and spoil yourself.
Oh, absolutely loved it.
Oh man, we're going to have a fantastic morning, and it's about to get even better for one lucky viewer.
As your natural journey unfolds, let our products naturally assist you. Salome, your journey matters.
Available at pharmacies nationwide.
Self-care goes together with self-value, and you are invaluable.
Oh, yeah.
Just proclaim it in a mirror. Now, Salome at Life Day Spa Cape Town is giving you the chance to win a spa day for yourself and a bestie or your partner, someone you really do love, to the value of 2,500 Rand. And to get you there, you had to answer this. We wanted you to tell us how you unwind and treat yourself when you're experiencing PMS symptoms. And we had some brilliant comments coming through.
Definitely did. This was a tough one to decide, but of course there can only be one, so let us, without further ado, announce our next winner is Melissa Manuel! Congratulations! This comment coming through from Melissa saying, a nice warm hot bubble bath and face mask. I also listen to some music to just relax and have me time to unwind when I experience PMS symptoms. Hashtag Salome Summer. Wow! I love that. That sounds like a perfect weekend for anybody, actually. But we've got Melissa on the line. Melissa, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Oh, firstly, congratulations. You are
Thank
officially
you
a
so
winner. How
much.
does it feel?
Oh, thank you.
I'm so glad that we have made you happy on a Monday morning. That's how you push back against a Monday. Of course, you have now got the beautiful experience of treatment at the Life Day Spa waiting for you. Is there any particular treatment you want? How excited are you to have that spa day experience?
I am so excited. I can't wait. Well, I think anything will do for that day.
Oh, that is exceptional.
Beautiful.
Now, I got to ask you, because I think this is something that needs to be highlighted every day for the rest of this year.
Yeah.
But maybe you can give us an answer as to how important it is for self-care, especially during PMS.
Well, I normally get into a nice warm hot tub, and I just enjoy myself by laying, the warm water. It works very, very well. It eases pain a lot.
Nice.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing some sage advice this morning. And congratulations once again. You are headed to Life Day Spa with someone really special. Expect people to start phoning you right now to book that, that little +1 ticket that you've got. But congratulations. I'm not joking. We got a ton of entrants for this one. It's obviously an amazing prize. So well done. You are our winner this morning. Congratulations.
Thank you. Bye.
Well
Yes,
done,
as simple as that.
Bye.
All you got to do is reply and you can be a winner just like that. And you also stand the chance to win a spa day for yourself and your bestie or partner to the value of 2,500 Rand per couple. And that's, of course, courtesy of Salome and Life Day Spa Cape Town. So you want to find out how to enter? Here's how. We got you.
Heal and rejuvenate with the Salome natural herbal approach to treating the symptoms of PMS, as you stand a chance to win a spa day for yourself and your bestie or partner to the value of 2,500 Rand per couple, courtesy of Salome and Life Day Spa Cape Town. A spa day must be won each day from 30 January to 10 February, so simply reply to the daily competition question on Expresso's Facebook and Twitter pages using #SalomeSummer. You know you deserve some spoiling. T's and C's can be found on expressoshow.com.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We are back with seasoned news editor and good friend of ours, Roy Simpson, as we discuss some of the biggest headlines on the front pages of newspapers across Mzansi. Now, a little bit earlier, we covered Kenny Kunene's appointment as MMC, as well as sauna preparations. Yes, it's a big week locally, a big one internationally as well. So we encourage you guys to join in on the conversation. Please drop us a voice note if you've got anything to say. 063-408-8863. To the US, we move for what feels like a watershed moment, possibly. U.S. Republican Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, recently hit back at her Republican colleagues after the House voted along party lines to remove U.S. Republican Ilhan Omar over comments over Israel. What were those comments, and why has this created such a knee-jerk reaction right now?
There have been a couple of comments in the past. I think the two most egregious from the viewpoint of her party and its mainstream American politics would be the one where she spoke about unthinkable atrocities committed by the United States, Israel, Hamas, and the Taliban. So the idea of putting Israel, but also particularly America, in the same basket as Hamas and the Taliban, that was absolutely not acceptable, and that drew a lot of the opposition to her.
Yeah.
And then the one that really sparked the controversy was she effectively said that the pro-Israel lobby was buying support from American politicians, by implication that AIPAC the American-Israeli Public Affairs Committee, which is a massive and really efficient fundraising organization.
I'm sure.
Effectively saying that they were buying votes. And she was accused of anti-Semitic tropes, of, you know, this idea that the Jews have money and they buy their way through the world. So she was accused of that. And she did backtrack on that and say, look, she's learned about these tropes, but those are the two that got her into trouble.
What does this say, and why is this such a dangerous moment in terms of where America is right now? When we talk about Islamophobia and that notion, which is, I know the world's more polarized now than it ever has been before, but in terms of America's situation, it kind of felt like, I don't know, from afar, that we might have found some kind of healthier balance, or maybe I'm completely off the mark, but what does this speak to America's mindset, and how damaging can this be, knowing who she is?
Look, I think having her there was fantastic. This is the Foreign Affairs Committee. This is, you know, where they set their policy vis-a-vis the rest of the world. So it's very powerful, and it's also hugely symbolic. So to have her removed is a big thing. I don't know that it's Islamophobic. It's almost the inverse of that, in as much as what she did by attacking the relationship between the American political elite and Israel was she touched on something that has long had bipartisan support. Yeah. Israel is this sacred entity in American politics. You don't go there. So it's not so much about her being Muslim as her attacking this, you know, not kowtowing to this really complex set of interests that supports Israel.
I can just imagine people saying she just didn't know her place. She just didn't know her place.
Very much so, yes.
Someone else, obviously, that didn't know their place clearly, whoever sent a meteorological balloon above the Atlantic Ocean, US military shooting down a Chinese balloon, obviously really upset about that. Do you think there was anything more at play here? You almost have to assume that something else was going on.
You know, in this world of spy versus spy, it's really difficult to know what's going on. We know, for example, that the Chinese have low-orbit satellites that really carry out high-level espionage on American activities. So this weatherish balloon thing, man, you know what? I think this, again, got more to do with internal American politics. Highlighting this gives the Republican Party an opportunity to show Biden as being soft on China. Yeah. I think it's got more to do with that.
They're so brazen there. They're right here now. They're sending balloons into our backyard.
And you're incapable of protecting our airspace. I doubt that could have gathered very much in the way of intel. And, you know, the military left it for a week, so either it wasn't seeing much or it was seeing what they wanted it to.
Will this just be a continuation of that relationship as it stands, or is this going to escalate any kind of issues within that US-China relations?
That relationship is fraught at the moment. Broadly, in terms of its own imperial ambitions, China's used to using economics as the tool to do that, the Belt and Road Initiative, all of those sort of things. But there is the issue of Taiwan, which is lurking in the background. So there is a possibility that things between the two countries could get really, well, could reach a hot war situation. I think this is just, we need more multilateralism. We need perhaps reform of the United Nations. We've enjoyed nearly 80 years of peace since that institution was set up. There is hope. There is multilateralism does work, and we've just got to hope that that becomes the course of action rather than military action.
There is an opportunity for the world to change the way we think. I know, yes, it does feel like we are more polarized than we ever have been before, but what I love is there is nowhere to hide now. The world is awake, and we are watching, and we have something to say about it. So if you want to continue that conversation, please drop us a voice note. But right now, let's take the edge off and cook something, please.
Oh, yes, taking the edge off indeed. Of course, it is Monday, and that means it's Meat-Free Monday. Check this recipe out.
I'd love another one, please, Mommy, with butcher and lots of jam.
Another sandwich.
Clover Butro. Spread the dairy goodness.
Made with love by Clover.
Oh, yes, prepare those taste buds to be tantalized. We're talking about a focaccia, and it is an Italian-style bread that pairs perfectly with most meals, and it's the best way to serve it, and that's obviously by spreading it with Clover's butro. So today we're going to be changing it up a bit, and myself and Zoe are going to show you how easy it is to make a sweet potato version, of course, for Meat-Free Monday. Zoe?
And
How
this
we
is
doing
going to be amazing.
Yeah?
So we've got some sweet potato cooked and ready and already like mushed for us to be added and incorporated into our mixture.
Okay.
And you've got a sweet potato right there that you can just give us thin little slices. That's going to add to our toppings.
Okay.
So I'm
Thin
going to start
slices
off
coming
with
up.
our 3 cups of flour that's already mixed in here.
Yeah.
I'm going to use half the yeast that I've been presented and put the other half in our lukewarm water. I'm going to give this a good little mix. So we know yeast feeds off sugar.
Yes, to kind of activate it needs that, right?
And salt cancels it out. So I'm going to add the salt first to our dry ingredients and then to our wet ingredients, which I'm just going to give it a little bit of a stir. We've got our lukewarm water, we've got our yeast in here, and then I'm going to add our sugar, and that will really activate the yeast for us. And the great thing about this recipe is you will need to make it and allow time to rise. Now, naturally, we don't have all of that time, so we've got a ready-made dough for us.
So this wouldn't essentially answer the question that we had on social media this morning about 30 minutes to spare, you want to make a meat-free meal. This is not one of them. This one needs time to be
This one will need a little bit more time.
All right.
A little bit more time. Okay. So we're going to mix our wet ingredients with our dry ingredients. So we're just going to do that. You can use a food processor for this part.
Oh, yeah.
We are doing it by hand.
Do it by hand, burn some extra coals, and you're earning this meal. That's what's up.
We're also going to be adding our cold sweet potato to this mixture and really just give it a good mix. Now, this is where you wish you had the food processor.
Yeah. Okay, but this is now essentially, if I'm not mistaken, this is kind of like the dough, right? Which is essentially infused with that sweet potato. So that's already giving it kind of unique little flavor profile to that focaccia as it is. So this is something I'm really excited about. Adding some ticks when it comes to the boxes of health as well. We're kind of incorporating veg into this, so very nicely done.
Very nicely done. Of course, you will give this a good mix. You want all the ingredients to mix well. For the sake of saving some time, we have got some ready-made dough.
Oh, you've come prepared, I see. Very nice.
And the nice thing about this dough is you just simply take it. We've got our sweet potato mixed in it. It's risen, and now we're going to add it to our lined container and really just spread it out by using our fingers just to push it flat. And we're going to add some toppings. So, Raul, you've been kind enough to slice our sweet potato for us. We're going to add this into our little thing. You just use your fingers to push it flat because the focaccia has got...
I think it's so cool that it's actually taken on some of the color. If you notice, it's obviously got a little bit of like an orange. I don't know if it's just my eyes or if it's the mixture,
got a bit of a color to it.
It's definitely got some of that color to it.
Yes.
The sort of tannins and the colors coming through from that sweet potato have infused in this dough perfectly. Yeah. I think that's so unique.
I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil.
I like how rustic you've done it as well.
And then you give it a little bit of a spread. And then we're going to go in with our toppings. So go for that. I'm going to use some of our coarse salt. Just give it a good little crack. And then we're going to add some thyme. That's enough, thank you, Raul.
Got you.
And then we are going to use a bit of our feta. So you can crumb it, you can keep it chunky, and then this will go into the oven for 20 to 30 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius. So preheat your oven, pop that in there, and then you are left with beautiful squares of focaccia, and then you want to serve it with your butro. I mean, hot and fresh and a little bit of butro. Yes. You're in for a treat.
Absolutely love it. You're getting me excited, and I think in the background, we also got the doctor in the building right now, so even more excited. We've got something to fill up the belly, of course, and the doctor's in town. We're going to be chatting about this in just a bit. So, of course, for this recipe, you want to head over to expressoshow.com, and let me tell you, this one is made with the goodness of dairy clover butro, which is tasty, it's smooth, and it's easy to spread on any bread. Now, incorporating butro into focaccia dough will give it a delectable buttery flavor. Let me tell you, it's something you want in your mouth, and you can make a double batch, because this focaccia is perfect for sharing with the kids, school friends, or even your work colleagues. So again, you want the recipe, expressoshow.com is where it's at.
Made with love by Clover.
Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beautiful souls, as we wrap up our chat around some of the headlines that have been breaking across the globe. And of course, this is global news from a South African perspective, winning himself a cool little Grammy Award. Thanks, Bud Tweedy. Congratulations, boy! We love him on the show. We love the fact that he's part of a group of South African artists that are putting us on the map right now. To see him recognized on this level, absolutely spectacular. So congratulations. Also a really good friend of the show. We need to turn back to South Africa's current state of affairs. Obviously a massive week for us, Roy, with the State of the Nation address. I think many of us hope that we're going to see a change, but quietly the country moves on, and we saw the announcement, at least taking one of the positions in the mayoral committee. Kenny Kunene is back. Now, you've spoken about, and in a key position where he has obviously lacked diplomacy, or his brand image of sorts is probably not the best fit for any public position within government, certainly. He has a criminal record. We're talking Ponzi schemes. We are talking about a tangible thing that we can see in his past, not allegations of. What does this say? We were very sarcastically joking about the requirements for holding that position, but what does this speak to that role? Surely there has to be some kind of gateway to prevent a man who has a criminal record stepping back into a space where he's going to have control of funds.
There are legal mechanisms that prevent people standing for public office, but he's served his time. He's been to prison, he's served his time for these. He appears to be a reformed person, and we have to believe in redemption. Our whole, I mean, where does society stand if we don't believe that someone can change who they are and correct their behavior and become a better person? So we have to accept that. That said, though, at the same time, I mean, there are 60 million people in this country. A large number of us have never stolen. We've never cheated. We've never lied to other people for financial gain. There are better human beings who could be holding this position. But you and I as voters, and everyone who has the power to vote, has to bear responsibility for this. This is a local government position. Here's a place where independent candidates have been able to stand for, well, since the dawn of the system. And instead we keep voting for political parties. And what we should be doing is choosing individual human beings for their characteristics. So we must bear some of the blame.
And best suited for the job, because these jobs require a particular skill set. Coalition, is this the way forward? What does this speak to where South African politics is at the moment to see unlikely bedfellows like this? Are we going to see a lot more of these kinds of constructs moving forward now? And what does that mean for the ANC, the fact that everyone else can get along?
Well, I don't know that they really can get along. These coalitions are massively unstable. I mean, you look at Nelson Mandela Bay, you look at Johannesburg, everywhere where the coalitions are, it's very fractious and not very stable. Yes, they are the future. The one interesting little doorway that's opening up for us is that in next year's general elections, we're going to be able to vote for independent candidates. Now the political parties have set the barriers as high as possible and rigged the game against them as much as possible. But perhaps, as I was talking about the local government elections, perhaps for national elections, we need to be thinking the same way. We need to be looking at which individuals are the right people to go and represent us in Parliament. Because the more we stick with these parties, and we're going to go with smaller and smaller parties that best represent us, the more you're going to have coalitions and the more disruptive it's all going to be.
Now, a little bit later in the show, we're going to be chatting to an incredible individual who is, look at that beautiful face there. He was born for the media, undoubtedly, and he is finding his way onto our Expresso couch. Dr. Randall Ortel has an incredible story from taxi driver to becoming a doctor. But what I love the most about his story is how he has started a foundation to help other children from Manenberg, other youngsters wanting to come up. I love this story for what it says about what you can do with your life. We need messages now more than ever to inspire. Are we going to get that at SONA this year? Do you see the tune changing in light of what we've been through collectively as a country? Is anything going to change? Do you have a positive or a negative kind of preemptive mindset going into SONA this year?
Quite negative going in. Look, we're heading into elections next year. Next year's will be even worse than this year, in as much as it's just going to be designed to be an advert for the current government, showing supposedly how well they've done. No, I think a lot of these problems are deeper and systemic, and they need really, really creative and innovative solutions. And I'm not sure we're going to hear that, because I'm not sure that it's even possible to come up with those within the current structure that we have. I would like to be hearing a lot more in terms of actual movement on shifting legislation to speed up things. But even then, I'm a little concerned that the more we speed up the legislation and the more we dodge those hurdles, the more we open up the loopholes for corruption.
Roy, we're going to form a committee. We're going to talk about the things that you put on the table this morning, and we'll get back to you with some kind of resolution. No, we will inspire you with those individuals, those South Africans that are doing amazing things in the service of their fellow South Africans, so stick around.
Well, Roy, you definitely got my vote. But now, Mzansi, it's time to unlock your 100% with today's quote. And it's brought to you by Clover Crush, an American professor, lecturer, author, and podcast host. I'm talking about Brené Brown, and it goes like this.
Brené is incredible, and this is your quote. To love someone fiercely, to believe in something with your whole heart, to celebrate a fleeting moment in time, to fully engage in a life that doesn't come with guarantees. These are risks that involve vulnerability and often pain. But leaning into discomfort of vulnerability teaches us how to live with joy, gratitude, and grace. And that is a quote from Brené Brown's The Gift of Imperfection book that she has. I listened to it, the audiobook.
Yeah.
It is full of truth bombs. It is full of quotable quotes. And it really is such a great way to, you know, I think so often we want people that are vulnerable, but yet that's the last thing we do and show people.
Yeah, it's a
And-
beautiful way to live, I think, and it's a very honest way to live, and we all deserve that honesty. And of course, for you, Mzansi, it's time to also crush everything that is in front of you, and that's the challenges, the goals, the obstacles you have. And Crush is bringing you a new TV show, and it's on SABC2. I'm going to be the host. It's very, very exciting stuff, and it's all about going on an incredible journey to help you unlock your 100%. So keep an eye out on Crush's social media pages for more information on the Unlock Your 100% with Crush TV show, and you can catch it weekdays on Wednesday at 7:30 on SABC2. And talking about unlocking your 100%, an individual who's done just that is absolutely inspiring so many people in his community and beyond. I'm talking about Dr. Randall Ortel. He's coming at you in just a bit, so sit back, sit tight, and enjoy this dose of inspiration. It's The Crush, Unlock Your 100% TV show. Catch all the excitement as we unlock Crush fans' full potential to live their dreams. Watch the show on SABC2 starting on the 1st of February every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Plus, you stand a chance to win your share of thousands of prizes. Simply buy any Crush and follow the pack for entry details. Crush, 100% goodness.
Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, Mzansi, your feel-good breakfast show. Let me tell you, it is time for an absolute dose of inspiration. Now, listen to this. They say every dark cloud has a silver lining. Now, that saying really, truly holds so true when one considers the life experience and achievements of Dr. Randall Ortel. Now, he's a family physician, an occupational medical practitioner who hails from the drug and gang-infested Manenberg in the Cape Flats. But what makes these accomplishments even more outstanding is that Ortel is reportedly the first medical doctor of color from Manenberg. This is huge. Now, the good doctor joins us in the studio to share more about his story. Let's put our hands together and welcome the doc into the building. Yeah. Yes, man.
Yes,
I'm
Raul.
like celebrating this for everyone, for our mensa, for the
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
How you doing, doc?
No, I'm great, Raul, man. Thanks for having me here on the show. You know?
You're making a storm out of the media. I see you in the papers.
Yeah.
Man's on live TV, on TikTok. Everywhere you go, we're talking about Dr. Randall at the moment. What's this attention been like for you, man? How's it feeling? Did you ever think that this was going to be what I'm going to do with my life?
Well, never. I never thought of the attention.
Yeah.
But what I say is I do like the spotlight or the limelight because it actually just points right back to Manenberg. Because, I
Yeah.
mean, the light is on me,
Yeah.
but the shadow or, you know, the light even goes past me and it goes
Yeah.
to my community. So now Manenberg is highlighted for something other than gang violence and drugs. And we know those things are prevalent in the community,
Yeah.
but they are in the minority. I mean, we've got such a lot of community initiatives and things going, but we just don't get you know, the media attention or the spotlight.
exposure.
So I think I'm just lucky, and I always saw myself as a link to my community, and that's my advice to other graduates. You know, when you equip yourself, I mean, you'll get opportunities. Bring that opportunities back to the community.
I like how you mentioned that. You mentioned the shadow that goes amongst Menenberg, and it's very true because you often hear of these crazy stories, dark stories, and overshadowed stories of violence, drugs, as you mentioned. So you literally are that light coming through. How does that feel for you in terms of like the responsibility you have in the community? I mean, being young, you don't often in those areas think of these crazy things that you want to do with yourself, but yet you've done it, man.
Yeah.
What is that feeling actually like for you?
Yeah, to be honest, I like the feeling. I'm not going to lie, and I'm really confident about that feeling as well because my community holds me accountable. So I think I don't need to be scared of the law or anything. I mean, my community is right there; they are tangible. So, and that is why I get all the information out to the community. Education is key, so that they know what's happening. And with me coming and just showing them or living that type of lifestyle, I think it can only be taken as a good role model. I mean, I don't want to be here all the time, you know. We need to develop, so the next youngster needs to come along. They need to see this. Because it will be boring having me on the show every year, isn't it? So, I mean, next year you need to have fresh blood, you know, that comes in, or the following year. So development for me is key, and that's why I love this attention of the story, so that it's tangible to the other kids, man.
Yeah, and development has been phenomenal for you, man. I mean, let's talk about this journey, developing from a taxi driver, which gets associated with not very positive things, and then making it all the way to this position that you're in now.
Yeah.
That's huge. Talk to me about that hustle. How did that even come about, going, okay, I'm done with this. I want to make a transition into something different. How did you make that happen?
Yeah, so look, I was obviously accepted into medical school. I had merit bursaries and so forth. I want to also mention I had a bursary from SACTU, which is the South African Clothing Textile Workers Union.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because my mom worked in the clothing factory. So, but of course, they couldn't cover all the tuition fees.
Yeah.
And I mean, I had a shortfall. So I needed to hustle. I mean, I needed traveling fare. I needed to supplement the bursaries. I needed textbooks and so forth. And, you know, I looked around the market. At that time, the going rate was like 10 Rand an hour. So if I worked 12 hours, it would be only like 120 bucks, which wasn't really enough. And I just saw the taxi, and it just dawned on me, why don't you just become a taxi driver? Because, number one, you'll be in charge of your own hours. The harder you work, the more money you'll make. And I mean, I saw it as if you're a people's person, you attract passengers into your vehicle. I mean, that will be money that will be coming through as well.
So was this happening while you were still studying, or was this afterwards?
Yes. No, this was during while I was
studying.
studying.
So you're driving a taxi and you studying. You got big. Obviously, was there someone helping you out in the whole process? Do you have a gachi with you?
Well, definitely. I had a gachi with me. And I mean, I actually met him, you know, just by coincidence. I mean, obviously the news broke that, I mean, I was going to drive a taxi. And I'm a student. Look, a lot of people didn't even know I was studying for a doctor. It was only my close family and, like, you know, close people around me, because you don't want to be prekerig, man. Like they say, you know, in the Cape Flats, the young will not be a prek or something to that effect. So I just kept it, you know, to myself. And I think the taxi owner probably told him that, you know, you'll be somebody that will be driving on weekends. And when I got the taxi, he came to me and he said, "Ek gaan saam met jou werk. I'll show you the ins and outs." And I mean, I'll forever be grateful to him. Because, I mean, the ins and outs that he showed me, obviously I made it my own. And I mean, you know, using your mind and strategizing and so forth, I kept that going. But just to add on to what you said, I was studying at the time because I needed that extra money. So on a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I would be driving the taxi. During the week, I would be at university. So I had a serious schedule, and I needed to follow my roster, you know, study every night. Monday to Thursdays, and then Friday, Saturday, you know, be on the taxi. Sundays, you know, sleep early to prepare for the week. So a lot of things fell off for me, friends, you know, unnecessary activities and those sort of things, just for me to reach my goal.
Absolutely incredible, man. Look, Doc, before we go, I just want to find out from you. I see you've got an incredible foundation called the Dr. Randall Ortel Foundation of Menenberg. And now this is for students who want to become doctors. Maybe just in a short message, you can explain to people how they can get in touch with you. And anyone that wants to find out more, how they can contact you to be more inspired to obviously make the most of the life that they've been blessed with.
So look, I'll start with the latter. So people can contact me via Facebook. You know, they can just inbox me on Facebook, and they can follow me on TikTok, because now you can send messages on TikTok as well. I'm not so familiar and au fait with all the other social media platforms. I mean, I'm still a doctor. Look, the foundation I started was literally to support students to get into medical school. There's obviously admission criteria that need to be met, and our kids just don't know how to meet it. And I think with my experience and with the other context that I've built up, one can sort of, assist them to get there. I mean, they need to do a national benchmark test. I mean, there are question papers for those things that can be worked through. They can discuss it before they even go and write it. So I like to have them in the early grade 9, grade 10 subject choices, work with them. There's currently 3 or 2 students at Stellenbosch University.
Yeah.
One is final year now, the other one is 5th year. So, I mean, those are products of the foundation.
Doc, thank you so much, man. It's been an absolute honor.
Yeah, no,
you are
thanks.
the light out of the shadow, and I thank you so much for serving your community, and I think the rest of South Africa that's listening now. So thank you. I wish you nothing but the best of luck with your foundation and all the good work you're doing for the people. And for now, though, it's time for the people to hear the latest when it comes to the news, and here's Zoe.
Thank you, Raal. It's a few minutes after 7. Let's quickly touch on those national headlines. Police are searching for suspected rhino poachers who butchered and dehorned 2 rhinos on a game farm in the Peterson area in the Eastern Cape on Wednesday evening. Bonnie and Clyde, a rhino pair who survived a poaching attack a decade ago, were last seen on Tuesday afternoon. Police are appealing to anyone who can assist in tracing the suspects to contact the SAPS Provincial Wildlife Coordinator, Captain Mornay Viljoen, Crime Stop, or your nearest police station. The contact details appear at the bottom of your screen. All information is confidential and callers will remain anonymous. And staying with our local news, activity in the private sector in January contracted at its fastest pace since the end of 2021 as new orders fell due to rolling power cuts and weak economic conditions, a survey showed on Friday. S&P Global's SA Purchasing Managers Index contracted to 48.7% in January from 50.2% in December. Readings below 50 indicate a contraction in activity. Power outages caused further disruptions to supply chains and curtailed business activity, S&P said. Eskom has implemented power cuts every day this year after a record number of days with outages in 2022. Now moving to news abroad, Britain faces its largest ever strike by health workers today as tens of thousands of nurses and ambulance workers walk out in an escalating pay dispute with the government, spelling further disruptions for an already strained health system. Nurses and ambulance workers have been striking separately on and off since late last year, but today's walkout involving both, mainly in England, will represent the biggest in the 75-year history of the National Health Service. Strike action this week will also see physiotherapists walk out on Thursday. And staying with news abroad, Pope Francis wound up a peace mission to South Sudan yesterday, urging people to be immune to the venom of hatred and to achieve the peace and prosperity that have eluded them through the years of bloody ethnic conflicts. The 86-year-old pontiff pleaded with the crowd of some 70,000 people at an open-air mass to shun the blind fury of violence. South Sudan has been wreaked by civil war since becoming independent in 2011. And Joburg flautist, composer and producer Wouter Kellerman, earlier this morning South African time, bagged another Grammy at the 65th Annual Grammy Awards in Los Angeles, California in the US. The 61-year-old musician became the first South African individual of a non-group artist to have been nominated 4 times for this prestigious music industry accolade. Kellerman, a platinum-selling king of dance, groovesmith, Zegs Bantwini, and South African songbird of the #1 international hit Jerusalema, Nomcebo Zikode, collaborated to create Bayete, a song that speaks meaning and soulfulness to the hardship era of times we are now living in all across the world as humanity tries to replace the pieces of their lives. Bayete, a powerful South African Zulu royal salute of hail, inspires to create a universal message, a distinct call to action to the world to lighten humanity's loads, to heal and bring peace and happiness. And now we proudly salute this great South African trio. What an incredible achievement. Congratulations. Well, that's where I leave your morning headlines for now. Let's take another look at your sport.
Thank you so much. So let's continue on an inspirational trend right now. Let's start with English football. Manchester City's bid to chop Arsenal's Premier League lead to just 2 points was seriously scuppered last night as Harry Kane's record-breaking goal earned Tottenham Hotspur a 1-0 win over the champions. So Kane's 15th minute effort made him now the North London club's all-time top goal scorer with 267 goals. That takes him, in fact, past the great Jimmy Greaves, whose record had stood since 1970. And elsewhere, Man United, they recorded their 13th straight home win on the trot after beating Crystal Palace 2-1. Then Arsenal were down 1-0 by Everton. Liverpool, they lost 3-0 to Wolves, and then Chelsea drew 0-0 with Fulham. So a few interesting permutations there when it comes to the log. Clearly, the chasing pack is catching up. Then we bring it back to local football, where it is certainly not the case. Mamelodi Sundowns are out on their own. They continued their impressive winning streak following their 1-0 victory over a very spirited, it must be said, Orlando Pirates outfit. Cassius Mailula with the goal as Downs made it 15 wins in a row. Incredible. And Kaizer Chiefs, they missed out on a chance to go fourth in the DStv Premiership table, playing out to a goalless draw with a 10-man TS Galaxy. Missed a golden opportunity there. And SuperSport United, they claimed an impressive 2-0 win over Cape Town City. And that result secured by a first-half strike from Tapelo Maseko and a bizarre later own goal that saw Masatsantsa break a 4-match winless streak in the league, now rise to second place in the standings. Then on to rugby. Defending champions, well, they showed their credentials. France, they came from behind to avoid a shock defeat against, again, a very spirited young Italian side in a thrilling Six Nations encounter. The Azzurri led 24-22 before Matteo Jalibert sniped over from close range as France claimed a bonus point 29-24 win. Then elsewhere, England's Steve Borthwick, his new era at the helm, got off to a rather inauspicious start on Saturday as 2 superb tries by Duan van Merwe. I think one of them will probably be the try of the season, helped a tenacious Scotland to a famous 29-23 victory at Twickenham in the Kolkata Cup. And then Ireland, they looked every part the world champions, or the current world log leaders, not the world champions, as they added 3 tries in the opening 20 minutes, and they cruised to a 34-10 bonus point victory over Warren Gatland's Wales. Then clearly, here's the man to demand the big purse. We turn to cricket now. Joburg Super Kings captain Faf du Plessis showed his class and his experience, I think, with a match-winning 92 from just 61 balls on a pretty difficult Wanderers pitch to set his side up for a 24-run win in their SA20 clash against the Sunrisers Eastern Cape, and of course qualification for the playoffs. So the home side, they posted 160 for 6 and restricted the visitors to 136 for 9, thanks to Carl Simmons taking 3 for just 23. Then elsewhere, the Durban Super Giants, they kept their semi-final hopes alive with a 150-run win over the Pretoria Capitals. Dominance there. Hanech was the standout player, making 104 not out as the Durban side posted a massive 254 for 4. Incredible. And the Capitals, they were reduced to 103 all out. Junior Dala there, the destroyer-in-chief, taking 3 wickets. Well, we'll delve a little deeper into some of the weekend sporting action. Lorenzo Darius will join us for that. But right now, before we let you head off to work, let's see how the roads are looking.
Thank you so much, G. Yes, of course, it's time to take a look at the roads this morning for anyone heading out. And if you are in the Cape Town area, and Woodstock to be specific, there's been an accident on the N1 at Lower Church. Now, 3 lanes have been obstructed, so please do drive carefully if you are in the area. Now, sticking to Cape Town and Bellville to be more specific, there's congestion on the R300 northbound at the N1 inbound ramp, so you can again expect delays. Now, for anybody heading on the roads, please do again buckle up, stay safe, and plan accordingly. But for now, though, it's time to head from the roads to the sky and see what's happening in the latest when it comes to weather. When it comes to weather news, environmental news this morning is that the Northwest Steering Committee, led by Water and Sanitation Minister Senzo Mchunu, will today meet its technical task team to receive a progress report and plans on water and sanitation interventions required for the province. Now, the steering committee, chaired by Mchunu and Northwest Premier Bushi Mape, was established last month by the minister to oversee the implementation of sustainable water and sanitation services in the province. Now, the technical task team carries out the technical work of assessing, planning, and implementing of interventions for the whole province. Now, the task team, comprising technical experts from the Department of Water and Sanitation, Magali's Water Provincial, District and local government, which has since been converging on weekly meetings to devise a strategy on how best to provide permanent water and sanitation solutions to communities across the province. Well, from our weather news, we head over to those incredible sunrise views. And for our 7 a.m. update this morning, we have Ian, who sent through this stunning shot of the sky filled with blue and orange hues all the way out in Durban. Beautiful stuff indeed. Diane van der Hoeven sent through this spectacular view, and it's a rainbow out in Howick, KZN. Come on, magic to start the day. How can it get any better? Rafiel, where comes through next and kickstarts her birthday with this stunning view of the morning sky on her side of the country. And let us say happy birthday. But finally, Shanti Governor sent through this view of the orange hue peeking through the clouds above the ocean all the way out in East London. Looking fantastic indeed. And again, Mzansi, if you have any incredible shots like this, please send it through to our WhatsApp line. That's 063-408-8863. Now, to take a look at the temperatures, once again, starting in Polokwane, today starting at a low of 16 up to 29 with some rainfall. Mbombela, the same with the rain, 18 up to a high of 29. Pretoria, much the same. Rainfall can be expected from 16 up to 30 degrees for your maximum. And Johannesburg, similar conditions, 14 being your low, up to a high of 28 degrees Celsius. Moving over to Mahikeng now, where the day starts at a low of 18 up to 31 with some rainfall expected. Klerksdorp, 17 up to 31 degrees. Kimberley sees the day starting at 20 up to a high of 33 degrees. And Bloemfontein, 15 is your low up to a nice warm 31 degrees Celsius. Moving around the coast now, over to Richards Bay, where you can expect some rain. 22 is your low up to a high of 30 degrees Celsius. Pietermaritzburg, 15 is the low up to 30 degrees with some rain coming through. Very similar conditions for Durban, not as much rain expected, but your temperatures are 22 up to 29. And Mthatha, starting the day at 19 degrees, moving up to a high of 31 degrees Celsius. Carrying around the coast now and moving over to East London, where the day starts at a low of 24 up to a high of 28 degrees. Craddock, let's hope the rain lands in those catchment areas, 19 being your low up to a high of 35 degrees. GQ Gqeberha sees a low of 21 up to 27 degrees. And George bringing on copious amounts of rain, 19 all the way up to a high of 25 degrees Celsius. Moving on to the mother city now, 18 is your low up to a high of 28 degrees. Sunny skies for the most of the day. Worcester sees it being from a low of 18 up to a high of 34 degrees with some rainfall expected. In Sutherland, thunder and rain can be expected all the way through from 11 up to 28 degrees. And Uppington, much the same with the rain, 22 is your low up to a high of 37 degrees Celsius. Again, Mzansi, thank you for sending those incredible sunrise pictures in. Don't forget to keep them coming. We'll see you in another hour. But for now, let's find out what's happening with the rest of the magic on this show.
And lots of magic indeed. Thank you for that update, Raul. Well, listen, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we need to inject some positivity into your life. We have the multi-talented Mansoor Joseph in studio with us today, and he's currently in the beauty room getting ready. How are you feeling?
Hi Zoe, how are you? Are you ready for the performance?
Ready for the performance? I think I need to ask you, are you ready for the performance?
Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, we are looking forward to it indeed. Mansoor Josephs will be here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
I am such a champ right now.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, Mzansi, welcome back. Your Feel Good Breakfast Show. And let me tell you, this is going to be exciting. We're talking about the man himself. Mansoor Joseph in the building is our next guest. He's our performer for the day and is a self-taught guitarist, solo artist, solo instrumentalist, and part of a multifaceted group of artists from Cape Town. Now, he's always had a love for music, and he's excited to share this with the audiences this Valentine's Day at Akama Estate. Now, Mansoor and the band, let me welcome you all to the Feel Good Breakfast Show. How are we doing, people?
Good. Feels good to be here.
It feels good to have you, man. How you been?
I've been good and busy and good again.
Yeah, busy. I see you've got like, a new crew with you as well. I remember the last time you were on the show, you were actually performing with Pennsylvanian Minstrel Club, right?
That's correct.
Since then, obviously done some things, a few upgrades and changes. Was this always the goal for you, man? Was it always to be a solo artist? Was this always the play? I want my own band, my own thing.
Look, I've always been on my own as well, and I've always been part of so many groups and bands. Because I'm very open-minded like that. I want to be part of different genres also.
Okay.
So yeah, so I'm still with Pennsylvanians.
Okay.
I'm still doing my own thing.
Just wearing more hats these days.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it feels good. And I like to just branch out to different genres and test the waters.
And one of those genres, obviously, we're talking about Valentine's Day. I don't know how you pronounce it. Is it J-Wap? To love?
Okay.
Jawap?
Yeah, there we go.
Am I saying it right? Jawap?
90%.
Okay. How do you say it?
Jawap.
Jawap. To love.
Yeah.
What does that mean, man?
In essence, you coming to the show to find out, right?
I'm gonna have to, clearly, and I think Mzansi needs to as well.
So, Jawap is actually, in simple terms, it means to sing along.
Okay.
Sing along. Back when I was younger, and my father took me to weddings and things and gigs, and if I just sat there and didn't sing, you would say, Jawap. Like, you need to come join us, man.
Okay.
So, Jawap.
All right. Well, we're going to Jawap right now and join you as you celebrate right now. Obviously, it's your time to perform.
Yeah.
Mzansi, don't forget, if you want to get in on this incredible concert that is happening, what are the details for it exactly? It's happening Valentine's Day, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
The 14th of February at Akama Estate in Constantia.
Nice.
It's Valentine's Day. That's all I need to say.
Moving up in the world, right? Constantia. All right, without further ado, Mzansi, get ready for this one.
Thanks, man.
Yep, so let's get the appetite worked up. But before we get into that performance, we're going to have a little bit of fun this morning. We are giving you the taste of magic with our crunchy chickpea parmesan and tahini kale salad. About the healthiest thing we've ever made on this show. It's a simple, game-changing recipe that gives balanced layers of flavor and texture brought together with the blissful taste of African gold, extra virgin olive oil that's pressed with love and cured to perfection. We absolutely love our African gold. And of course, we've got a very, very special guest, Dr. Randall Ortel, who is terrified. Okay, right now, no, he's not. He actually embraced us with such confidence, a doctor who has an incredible journey. And of course, you become literally like front page news. Okay, how does the pressure of preparing to cook in the kitchen on live TV compare to the pressure of the doctor's room?
Sure, it's almost similar.
Is it?
Yeah, so my heart's actually racing, you know, doing this operation.
That's a good thing.
I see a spoon here, but I actually used to a blade, you know, or a scalpel. But we'll make it work. We'll make it work.
I love it. Do you feel that stress as a doctor? Because I think for me, there are certain jobs that come with an extra and added gravitas. And because of the personal nature of being a doctor, you are stepping into someone else's life.
That's correct.
How crazy is that feeling, especially coming from where you come from? Does it feel like the job has more meaning in that sense?
Definitely, the job definitely has more meaning for me. I'm always nervous before I do surgery, and I think that's the right feeling to have, you know, and not to be too overconfident. So I'm very cautious, you know, I always focus on safety, make sure my check sheets are in place and so forth. So, yeah, I mean...
So we're not in doctors' rooms in Mannenberg right now. We're in the Expresso kitchen, but we demand the same level of care. So you're going to kickstart our recipe here. You've got some beautiful ingredients. Walk us through what you're going to be doing there.
Yeah, so I've got some chickpeas here. I've got some Parma jam. I've got some paprika, chili powder, and that is salt and pepper with some nice olive oil here.
The African gold is
African gold olive oil. I've got some breadcrumbs, cashew nuts, and some garlic.
I love it.
I'll put them all together. I'll start my operation. I think we've checked all our equipment. So I'm ready to go.
And I know our kind of foodie angels work behind the scenes in this case, but if you do need to, like, just ask for spoon, scalpel, you're more than welcome to do it.
So there we go. I
love this, and I'm discovering with kind of going the meat-free option, you need to ramp up the flavor. You really do need to think about texture. You've got to make the meals as interesting as possible. I've got 2 young kids, so if I want them to kind of, if I'm trying to entice them into a particular way of eating, I've got to really go the distance. And this, I think, these little textural elements, the bite, a little bit of heat from the paprika, it's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, some chili powder, so not too much.
Can you handle your spice?
Yeah, no, I can. I'm just thinking of those patients with ulcers, eh? So not too much spice.
Ooh, full on, yeah.
Salt and pepper, here we go. And then just some olive oil.
African gold, I love that. Oh man, and when we talk about working with the very best, yes, when it comes to doctors, we do that, and when it comes to our ingredients, we do it as well. African gold, extra virgin olive oil, it literally is gold. African gold is perfectly balanced, medium intensity, extra virgin olive oil. It's got a fresh, almost green, aromatic fruitiness and a distinct pepperiness. This is an award-winning olive oil for a reason, and globally. Now perfect for finishing of meats, veg, pastas, bread, salads, and of course using ingeniously like this. Okay, so our chickpeas done. We're moving on to the cashews.
We're moving on to our breadcrumbs.
Beautiful, I love that. Do you do the cooking at home?
No, I don't, but I cook for myself. And that's only in the doctor's tea room. Maybe not get too much out of my secret out there.
Yeah, exactly. I have always eaten so much that I needed to learn how to cook for myself. And I think my mom moved out of home before I did. She was like, no, you just go, you do it yourself. And I bless her every day for kind of allowing me to enjoy this relationship with food. I absolutely love it. Okay, so I'm going to start my process. I'm doing the dressing, which is going to be equally as aromatic. So those, I'm assuming, just go into the oven.
Yeah.
Brown milk, beautiful, crispy, crunchy. I love it. So for our dressing, we've got some actual tahini and, of course, our African gold. Thank you so much, sir. I know I haven't studied for 7 years, but so what I love is I steal the last person's intellectual property and I pass it off as my own. That's the key to my job. So please forgive me if you see me repeating stuff that you've said. But now I've got to ask Raul to come in here because a little bird, you know, when we said that you were front page news at the moment, we had no idea just how popular you are.
Yeah,
Raul, what you looking at there, dude?
Listen here, I'm just trying to figure out, is this a whole paper? Look how big this is. Is this your brother?
Yeah, that's me, eh? That's me. That's actually at a graduation, the master's graduation.
You look even better in real life.
Oh, wow. Thanks so much, eh? Thanks so much.
This is incredible stuff, man. Literally, like I mentioned earlier, on live TV, on the papers, doing the things. How's it feeling, man?
No, great. I'm just happy for the opportunity.
And now officially we're a chef in the kitchen as well.
Well, I hope people are not going to ask me to cook in Manama again.
We'll bring you back in for a taste test just now. I'm surrounded by all these super achievers. Okay, so the lemon juice has got in there as well, a little bit more parmesan, our African gold, because we absolutely adore that. And I always recommend when working with the NutriBullet, have a little bit of water there just in case. And then it's literally just about compiling the salad together. And something like this, it doesn't have to look absolutely perfect. The colors are popping. So from a doctor's perspective, why is it so important to look after your gut health? You talk about ulcers and things like that. How important is diet in your practice?
Yeah, so diet's extremely important. You know, one needs to have a balanced diet, like I said. You know, reduce sugars, reduce salts, and those type of things, but also in moderation. Yes. So it's quite important. So patients, if they get diagnosed with various medical conditions, they know what are the triggers and they know what they can eat and what they can obviously avoid. So diet forms part of nutrients, and every person needs nutrients. So yeah, a well-balanced and informed diet.
Buddy, you are clearly a super achiever at whatever you set your mind to. But I think the message of what you are putting out there, your foundation, the fact that you are creating a path for other young men and young women to follow in your footsteps, absolutely amazing. You are an impressive individual. I'm glad I've seen you on just about every newspaper this morning, but we love you guys. Thank you so much. Thanks for being a part of our family.
Thanks for the opportunity.
If you want to cook along like the good doctor this morning, you can head on to expressoshow.com for all of the culinary inspiration. I'm going to put on the finishing touches here, and let's see if we can lighten up your day even more with an amazing performance. Well done, Doc.
Thanks.
Oh, yes, finally, it is time. The man is here with his whole own band. And I'm talking about Ali on the strings right there. And then Kurt coming through here, he's cupping the beats on a very interesting instrument. What was this thing called again?
It's called a cajon.
A cajon, all right. So, without further ado, Mansoor Joseph's in the building. And to find out, how deep is your love?
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beauties. Thank you so much for keeping it locked as we delve into the gristle. We chew on the gristle of the weekend sports. Of course, the Premier League weekend threw up some shock results in match week 22 with league leaders Arsenal definitely dropping points, while Liverpool were humbled by Wolves 3-0 in fact. Then Spurs, they stunned Man City 1-0. That's one for the books. Yeah, to review all of the action is Good Hope FM sports anchor Lorenzo Daris.
Yeah.
We can smile collectively.
Yeah, no, we can.
Smile for like
You
the first
happy,
time in
man.
like 3 years. I think it's the first time we've both been able to smile.
No, I've been able to smile all season.
Whatever,
It's
dude,
worried
whatever.
about you, though.
Yeah, an interesting one. And
Yeah.
let's start at the top and work our way down, shall we? you kind of feel like Arsenal had an opportunity to really lay claim here. I really want to try and be as objective as I possibly can be when it comes to Arsenal, which is very difficult for me.
Yeah.
You understand, but it kind of feels like this is when a season is won or lost. It's in the engine room of that season. It's not just about making one good run, it's about grinding out the results when you need them, and they kind of needed this one.
They needed this one, and I must say, we looked at what happened when they played against Manchester City last week and lost in the FA Cup. And my first thoughts were, is this going to hit them psychologically? Because they've been a superior team psychologically and as well as on the field physically. So we kind of saw something happen that
dig deep and gives them the character that they need. So I won't be too terrified just yet if you're a gunner. No such issues for Man United.
No,
just
no
on the
such
charge at the moment. What is working so well? I'm going to ask you this every week because it's not that much of a shift in personnel. Yet we've seen a transformation.
No, we have seen a transformation. We also need to look at the fact that Ten Hag's doing something good with this team at the moment. Bar the red card that we got, right? But when you look at replacements coming on, substitutes happening, and players can slot in and they can do something different. We've seen that passing game. I love they're quite fluid, if I can put it like that. And certain senior players are standing up, and they're definitely representing. And I think I love that about this team, is that, yes, there's one captain on sheet, but there are multiple leaders.
There's a team of seniors
there, team of seniors that's able to control this game.
Left scratching his head halfway down, and I say down, not halfway up the table.
Definitely.
Liverpool, what is going on? Absolutely humbled by Wolves, 3-0.
Yeah, something going on there. Lots of chants from the Wolves supporters. Klopp, you're being sacked tomorrow morning. I think it's a bit premature. He's been there for 7 years. This is the worst start he's had in 7 years. And we can see that dip in certain teams when we've got personnel problems. And there is a player personnel problem happening at the team at the moment. Do they need to then spend more in their summer period? Yes, they're going to need to do that. It's going to be crazy. They're going to need...
Then you get to see your name up in lights, one position above Jimmy Greaves. I think for very few sportsmen will be able to understand fully what that means. If you're an Englishman, you will understand who Jimmy Greaves is, one of the greatest to have ever played. We're talking Alan Shearer levels here.
So Alan Shearer, 260 all-time. Wayne Rooney, 208, and then you get the man, Harry Kane now. So he's in that league, but he's not, I don't think he'll ever make 300. I think it was 347 goals altogether. 1966 team that won the World Cup, those guys are in a different league.
It was a different era
different
as well.
Era as well, but it's become a lot more competitive. But now he is the, it could have been that he actually would have gone to Manchester City a few years back. He wouldn't have gotten this.
I think, and I'm glad it was mentioned last night, that the fact that that was so close and it didn't happen, the fact that he just pulled up his socks and he went back out there and he's still giving his best for Spurs. And one wonders where Spurs would be without Harry Kane.
Ooh, I wonder as well. But then they've got Son, so sometimes that team, they'll come out and they'll show you a few things and you're like, oh, we don't need Kane. And then for the next 5 games, it's like, guys.
we really need him. So when we look at the results from yesterday, obviously the tail of the tape, it's not a huge shift, but it does speak to the title chase now becoming quite intense. I don't think Arsenal have the breathing room that they quite thought they had.
Sure. A few weeks back, we saw they had the breathing room, and we were like, City's got a few, quite intense games. They'll lose here, they'll draw over there, they'll drop a point or two, and for some reason they've caught up. And I think it's what, 5 points now? 5 points, whereas we saw a lot more a few weeks back. And this is the lovely thing about the beautiful game in the Premier League.
Anyone can beat
Anyone can beat
I was
anyone.
joking about, anyone can lose to Brighton. Brighton are 6th or 7th on the log right now. But my money's on Newcastle to win this season. Come on, son. Wherever your allegiances lie, I hope you enjoyed the weekend's sporting action.
Oh, thank you. And speaking of all of that sporting action, if you play daily and win, you can win your share of 500 million rand in cash and rewards when you unlock your summer with Vodacom.
Oh, yes, you can. Now, you can get a free airtime, or get free airtime when you download VodaPay and buy summer bundles. Now, when you purchase a summer bundle, you get free airtime back that is saved in your summer wallet, and then you can use this free airtime to purchase more bundles and deals on VodaPay, and just all for you.
So you're basically saying you can get 2 times the amount of free airtime when you use VodaPay instead of USSD?
Literally, how cool is that?
I love it. I love it.
Say no more. And it's so easy to access your summer wallet on VodaPay. It's never been easier. I mean, listen to this. All you have to do is the following, right?
You download and you register on VodaPay, open your summer wallet in the Summer Mini app, tap on View Bundles, then tap on the Earn Credit tab and select your summer bundle to earn free airtime credit. Select a payment method. Your purchase will now be completed. And to use your free airtime credit, tap on the Use Credit tab and then choose a bundle to spend your credit on. It's as easy as that.
Is that it?
That's it.
Okay, I got you. Well, say no more. I'm definitely signing up to this one, and you should too, Mzansi. And of course, with it being Monday, we've also got a lucky winner who stands a chance to win a 250 Rand sorbet voucher. How you do it? You simply reply to the competition post on the Expresso Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram page and tell us what your favorite VodaPay features are. Now, don't forget to use the hashtag #UnlockYourSummer. And this week's competition closes at midday on Wednesday, the 8th of February. And don't forget the T's and C's can be found on expressoshow.com. So hurry up, get entering, and good luck.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beauties. Thank you so much for keeping it locked. Next up, we continue what has proven to be a very exciting journey into the world of Forex trading in partnership with OctaFX. Now, it's a reliable and licensed global Forex broker and a trading platform here in South Africa. They have offered a high-end trading experience to more than 12 million accounts in 150 countries so far, tried and tested. So stay with us as we make trading a little clearer. Enjoy.
Well, if you're seeking inspiration on your feel-good breakfast show, look no further than the young gentleman sitting right next to me, Lisiba Mutupi, founder of Forex Chasers. And he joins us again this morning so we can get to know more about Forex trading with OctaFX. A very good morning to you, my brother. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
Fantastic, man. I love learning from you, love hearing about your story. It keeps inspiring me. So when it comes to Forex trading, right, finally, a lot of terms.
Okay.
Or signals and assets and candles and spreads.
Yeah.
Talk to me about what all those things mean.
Okay, I love that question, Kat. So just by explaining to you what signals will be meaning, it's more of following through with an experienced trader. So let's say an experienced trader would send out a signal or a trade that they're taking, and what you can do is that you can follow through with the trade manually.
Right.
And yeah, so and looking at things such as like candlesticks, what a candlestick would simply mean is a visual representative of a chart or a price action. So what it means is that you are able to see the open, the close, and as well the high and the low of that specific price at that given time. So speaking about assets, it's more on what it is that you are going to be trading. So there's different types of assets in the markets. But when you start speaking or when you start choosing a specific assets, like let's say Euro JPY or GBP JPY or Euro USD, like that's you just focusing on one specific asset.
Okay, so when you're talking about, let's say, a Euro USD, you're talking about the Euro trading against the US dollar.
US dollar, yeah, that is correct.
Euro JPY is the Euro versus the Japanese yen.
That is true.
Okay,
yeah.
All right. And when we talk about spreads, what are those?
Or spread is seen as like the difference between the buying and the selling price. Because in the markets, there's the buy and the sell price, but there's a young difference that you can look at. So that is the spread.
Okay, okay, it goes a long way in kind of filling in the gaps that I have had about some of the terminology used in the industry. When it comes to trading with the OctaFX trading app, how easy is it to use it? Because I think, that user interface also determines a lot about your appetite as a user to engage with the platform. So how easy is it to use it?
Using the OctaFX trading app is literally simple because what I've done is that it took me less than a minute for me to download and register with them. And the user interface is like literally easy for you to understand. So yeah, it's like very easy.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
So when it comes to, let's say, firstly, finding out about all the information you need to know about as a new person entering into the world of Forex trading, or maybe you're somebody who is kind of experienced and you just want to refresh your knowledge, what would you recommend in terms of sources of knowledge and information? Where should I go to?
So one thing that I like with OctaFX is that they already have these basic information that you can learn from, like your webinars, your free sessions, your educational materials. And one of the things that you can do is that you can just follow through with also experienced traders in their webinars. But as well, I also have my own YouTube channel whereby I speak about this topic.
Wonderful stuff. Okay, so how do I go about downloading the OctaFX trading app?
So all you have to do is literally go on your app store, and once you get there, you just hit the download. So what will happen is that the first step that you will see, there's like 5 steps. The first step that you will see is that they'll just ask you to enable your notifications and stuff. So you can enable that, allow that, and follow. Now they're gonna need like your details, like your IDs, your name in terms of how it is registered on your IDs. And the next step now, you'll just have to verify your identity. And when you're done with that, you can literally just open up your virtual account or your real account and you're good to go.
As good and as easy as that, man.
Yeah.
Very, very exciting stuff. And thanks for sharing your journey and your knowledge with us as well. Much appreciated, my brother.
Got you, man.
Wonderful stuff. So go ahead and download the OctaFX trading app. It's as easy as you've just heard it, easy to use, and you can start investing today. Now, the OctaFX app allows you to deposit funds, to monitor trades, and to manage your trading account all in one place. And you can download the app on the Google Play Store or on the Apple Store as well. The user-friendly trading app has various payment methods, 24/7 support, 50% bonus and best trading conditions. And of course, you can apply the Expresso Show promo code on your deposit and get a 100% bonus to double it. You can, of course, dream big and achieve bigger with OctaFX.
Hey, what's that?
This is Octifex, a new accessible platform to trade Forex on global markets.
Cool. What's the Forex?
It's short for foreign exchange, trading currencies.
Buy low, sell high. Score points, right?
Exactly.
What's leverage?
It's like you got cool friends. They vouch for you, and you can trade it big.
Precisely.
So basically, it's an app where you learn and trade, and it's safe, and it looks good.
That about sums it up here. Octifex, trading made clear.
Well, we're no longer in January, but we still could do with a little bit of advice when it comes to everything finance and also tech. And we've got a lot of assistance there, right?
We do indeed. Now, from your tech advice to the latest, in fact, your trading advice to your latest tech, we've got you covered. Now, get ready to share epic moments that matter with Samsung, who recently unveiled the new Galaxy S23 series, the future of smartphone technology. It is in good hands, and we can't wait to get ours on it.
Yeah.
What an absolute marvel it is to not only see technology evolving in front of our very own eyes, but to be a part of it ourselves as well. We are here at the exciting Samsung Galaxy S23 Unpacked event for all kinds of unveiling surprises. But that's enough talk from me. How about we go inside to experience it ourselves?
Exciting times ahead for the Samsung family. Dudu, I'm coming to you now.
Do you guys agree that the time of selfies is gone? But it's more the time of capturing the moments that actually matter.
Khumutso, what an exciting night. In your teaser ads, you said epic nights are coming.
Absolutely.
Please tell us more about what that means.
It's about sharing the epic, not just at night, but it's nightography enabled, as you have heard. So that's what we mean by epic nights are coming. We're doing it at night. We allow you to enjoy your Samsung S23, especially the Ultra, at night to experience the full power of what we call nightography.
Zahir, we came, we saw, we unpacked. Please tell us more about some of the new possibilities that this new Galaxy S23 series opens up.
For starters, the 200 megapixel camera, it's absolutely mind-blowing when you see the type of pictures and the quality, the crispness, the clarity, the vibrance of the color that comes through. Nightography has been enhanced, so you're able to take quality self-portraits or portrait selfies at night, as well as capture cinematic video in low-lit condition. Even from a power performance point of view, the batteries have been enhanced as well, but coupled with the AI, coupled with the One UI 5.1 that we've brought to the devices as well, you know, the intelligent display, it really brings a lot of efficiency in the way power is used, and ultimately it gives you longer time to enjoy what you love doing most with your phone.
Justin, please tell us about some of the trends in the market right now and how this new series answers to the consumer's requirements.
Yeah, just take it a year ago. We were speaking about launching a 108 megapixel camera. Tonight we talk about a 200 megapixel camera. It is groundbreaking, and I think what I'm loving about this trend that we've seen is in terms of the inclusion of artificial intelligence, machine learning capabilities, these type of things are really coming to the fore. So the one I really like is about somebody with glasses on. You know, normally you take a photograph and it's a flat image, glasses, face combined. And if you try and enhance the image, you enhance it as one thing. Now the AI is so cool and so good at it that it can actually sharpen up the glasses, recolor the glasses, and then fix the skin tone behind the face behind the glasses. You asked about trends. I see a huge leap forward in terms of what artificial intelligence can do, and driven very much by the new processing capabilities that we're experiencing on the S23.
This is my favorite event when it comes to smartphone launches. It's the top of the range devices in Samsung's range, and I think, you know, the best phones that come out in the world for that year. And I'm really excited, especially about the S23 Ultra. This is Samsung's top of the range flagship. So what they've done now is they've had a much better processor. They've got a really good relationship with Qualcomm, which means that they've got a custom chipset that they've designed for all the S23 ranges. So it's the most powerful chipset that is inside a Samsung device. The gaming on here is great. This is the first phone in the world with ray tracing. Ray tracing is a term that we use in video games. It's only in high-end devices like the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X or high-end gaming PCs. And now it's in this device, which means it renders light. So most video games that you see in the past kind of faked light, but now it's actually tracing rays of light physically in the game engine, which takes a lot of computing power. So shadows fall naturally, reflections look realistic. So this is like the most powerful device that you can get. It blows my mind.
Dudu, I have to ask, how are global crises like climate change making Samsung reimagine their mobile phone devices?
At Samsung, sustainability is at the core of what we do, and the Galaxy S23 has been designed with the planet in mind. For example, we've incorporated a lot of recycled materials into the product itself. With the Galaxy S23, we've got 12 internal and external components that are recycled materials. To us, sustainability is about durability, and the products that we've made with the Galaxy S23, it's actually meant to last longer. Making sure that you have a product or a phone that actually works reliably for many years to come.
So pre-orders are officially open. Devices will be available in stores at our operator partners as well as retail and online on the 24th of February. But in this period of pre-order, we've got an amazing offer for starters, and it's a twofold offer. For starters, all customers that purchase the phone, the 256 gig phone, will get an automatic upgrade to a 512 gig at no extra charge.
Oh, wow.
And that's worth about 3,000 rands worth. And then second to that, as a free gift from Samsung, you get a Tab S6 Lite, which is a 10.4-inch tablet, S Pen included as well. So it's really putting the full ecosystem into the hands of our Galaxy fans.
That is incredible.
No, it's a crack offer.
I'm pretty sure everyone watching right now cannot wait to get their hands on it.
Same here. The base will start at 20,999 retail, the Plus at 23,999, and then the Ultra at 30,999. And we're aware, I mean, the times are tough at the moment, so we've got the trade-in offer, which is a guaranteed value of 10,000 rands. You bring it in, even if the screen is cracked, provided it powers on, it's guaranteed value. We've made it as simple as possible. And if you're taking a contract, this equates to 400 rands per month discount over your subscription period of a 24-month. So it's really important. Get in there, get your hands on these amazing offers that's for this pre-order period.
Well, there you have it. The Samsung Galaxy S23 series has finally arrived, and I'm absolutely loving it. There's just something so powerful about being surrounded by big idea people. It's clear to see that the future of technology is in great hands, all thanks to Samsung.
How incredible. 200 megapixel camera. That is insane.
One of the other things that blew my mind was the fact that the gaming ray tracing, it is huge. Like often you play games and you have this like sort of shutter and stagnance. It is insane what this thing is. I don't even think it's a phone anymore. It's like a business, a gaming device, and all of this just meshed up into one. This is exciting stuff indeed.
Well, the future is certainly very bright. Some great things coming from Samsung. But stay tuned to your Feel Good Breakfast show. We have a lot more things on its way.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso on S3. We're going to be chatting about all things around load shedding being exacerbated by the increase in food prices and inflation. We'll bring you an all-round economic update, so stay tuned to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Our guests are busy getting ready in the green room and they will be joining us on the couch shortly. But let's take a final look at those morning headlines.
Thank you so much. So, of course, it's time to kick off with official duties once again and starting on national news headlines. Now, the Western Cape Minister of Cultural Affairs and Sports, Anru Merez, says the death of 19-year-old soccer player Ashwin Andries is a great loss for sport in the province. Now, Andries was reportedly stabbed to death in Cape Town, and he was the youngest player in the Premier League to score a goal for the Stellenbosch Football Club and also captained SA in the recent qualifying matches for the Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations. Now, Merez said Andries was an example to young people and proved that anyone can achieve much by making good choices. Well, sticking to national news headlines, police are still searching for suspected rhino poachers who butchered and dehorned 2 rhinos on a game farm in the Patterson area in the Eastern Cape on Wednesday evening. Now, Bonnie and Clyde, a rhino pair which survived a poaching attack a decade ago, were last seen on Tuesday afternoon. Now, police are appealing to anyone who can assist in tracing the suspects to contact the SAP's Provincial Wildlife Coordinator, Captain Mornay Viljoen, Crime Stop, or your nearest police station. Now, the contact details appears at the bottom of your screen, and all information is confidential and callers remain anonymous. Well, from our national news headlines, it's time to head over to international news. Now, top British actor Idris Elba has announced plans to build a film studio in Ghana. Now, this after meeting with the country's president, Nana Akufo-Addo. Now, Elba said there is a lot of African filmmaking, but facilities are lacking. Now, he's also planning to do a movie in Ghana in December, which will be the second time he has gone to the country to do so. Elba is best known for movies such as Mandela, Long Walk to Freedom, Luther, and The Wire. And he's also being widely tipped as the next James Bond. Sticking to our international headlines, Britain faces its largest ever strike by health workers today as tens of thousands of nurses and ambulance workers walk out in an escalating pay dispute with the government, spelling further disruption for an already strained health system. Now, nurses and ambulance workers have been striking separately on and off since late last year, but today's walkout involving both, mainly in England, will represent the biggest in the 75-year history of the National Health Service. Now, strike action this week will also see physiotherapists walk out on Thursday. Lastly, in our news headlines, the road and skies of many cities in China were alight in color when Lunar New Year celebrations came to a close on the 15th day of the first lunar month, which was yesterday. Now, the Lantern Festival, or Zhangzhizhi in Mandarin Chinese, is the grand finale in the weeks-long celebration when people light lanterns to symbolize driving out darkness and bringing in hope for the coming year. Now, it also marks the departure of winter and the beginning of spring. Now, it's said that the tradition gained popularity during China's Han Dynasty some 2,000 years ago. Now, each year has a corresponding animal from the Chinese zodiac, and last year it was the year of the tiger. Now, 2023 is the year of the rabbit in Chinese culture, and the rabbit is known to be the luckiest of all the 12 animals. Now, it symbolizes mercy, elegance, and beauty. So, thumbs up for the year of the rabbit. May it bring us mercy, elegance, and of course, beauty. For now, though, it's time to take a look at the latest when it comes to the traffic. And here's Zoe with the latest.
Thank you, Raul. Let's start off with traffic in Midrand, Johannesburg. There's been a multi-vehicle accident on the R21 southbound. It's at Olifantsfontein Road. Both right lanes are closed and there's some slow-moving traffic. Then in Benoni in Johannesburg, there's also been another multi-vehicle accident, and that's on the N12 westbound before Pitfontein Road. 3 lanes have been affected and it's causing heavy delays. Please approach with caution. Then in Cape Town, Kraaifontein, there's been an accident on the N1 inbound at Okuvangu. The right lane has been obstructed. You can expect heavy delays. Well, that's your traffic for this morning. Let's take a final look at your weather. And forecasters say the coldest wind chill ever has been recorded in the US as an Arctic cold snap freezes a swathe of New North America. The National Weather Service said the icy gusts of Mount Washington in New Hampshire on Friday produced a wind chill of minus 78 degrees Celsius. It affected some 100 million people across the northeastern US and Canada. Authorities warned of frostbite that could strike in under 10 minutes. The Weather Service added that the actual temperature on the summit of Mount Washington was down to minus 43 degrees Celsius, the coldest ever recorded there. Even New York did not escape the extreme chill. The Big Apple saw wind chills as low as minus 23 degrees Celsius and even enacted an emergency designation that allowed the homeless to go to shelters to seek warmth. Forecasters have predicted that temperatures will rebound from today. Now, for your final weather update this morning, we received this photo from Lee Barnard, who shared this blazing view of the sun in Brooklyn, Cape Town. Razine Pandi shared this view with us from her home in Gqeberha. And look at how the sun is lighting up her neighborhood, absolutely beautiful. Then Umbilo sent through this mystical view of the sun still shining through the morning clouds in Durban. And finally, we have Clive Lambert, who showcased this gloomy, cloudy day above the sky. And look at that. That photo was taken in Sydenham in Durban. Well, if you have a sunrise view to share with us, please do so on 063-408-8863. Let's look at today's temperatures. Polokwane expects some rain with a low of 16, a high of 29. Mbombela 18, 29. Pretoria 16, reaching a high of 30. Johannesburg, your low is 14, your high 28. Mahikeng 18, 31. Klerksdorp 17 with a high of 31. If you're in Kimberley, 20 is your low, 33 your high. Bloemfontein 15, 31. Richards Bay 22 with a high of 30. Pietermaritzburg 15, reaching a high of 30. If you're in Durban, 22 is your low, 29 your high. Mthatha 19, 31. East London 24 with a high of 28. Cradock 19, 35. Gqeberha, your low is 21, your high 27. Moving to the Western Cape, some rain can be expected in George, 19 with a high of 25. Cape Town, 18, 28. Worcester, 18, 34. If you're in Sutherland, 11's your low, 28 your high. And Uppington, expect a low of 22 and a high of 37 degrees Celsius. And that's a wrap on your weather today.
Extreme weather to extreme financial conditions. At the moment, there is not a person in this country who isn't being affected by rising food prices, and you can imagine those on the lowest rung of that ladder being most affected. We are talking food security. Andy du Plessis, a warrior in this space, is beautifying himself as we speak. He is a man who is plugged in on that base level. Food Forward SA are feeding thousands every day, and we're going to find out what we need to do to help that situation and ease this financial pressure that all of us are feeling right now. Stick around.
Mama see, Mrs. I make the pots to be done. Famous for shisa nyama and shisayo. One touch here, one touch there. Fast food and even faster payments. Everybody wins Gwa Mama see. I mean, come on, man.
I am such a champ right now.
This summer, we are not just players. We are all champions. Unlock your profits with a quicker pause and qualify for a cash advance. Further together. Vodacom.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Now, time to broach a very difficult conversation, but unfortunately, there is nowhere left to hide. Over the last few months, load shedding has been wreaking havoc on South Africa's local economy, disrupting millions of lives and threatening food security on the base level. And for most South Africans, the impact of the crisis has been felt through the increase of food prices and persistent blackouts. They've obviously put severe strain on farmers' ability to produce fresh, quality food. Just go and try and find yourself an ice cream these days, anywhere. Now, for 2023, inflation is on the rise as rising energy and fuel prices are expected to be the key sources of inflationary pressure for the year ahead. Like I said, there is no getting around. And chatting to us this morning about what is a very concerning financial issue is expert and podcaster Babalwa Nonkenge and managing director and food justice activist and good friend of the show, Andy du Plessis. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
A tough one this morning, but we shall try to find a glimmer of hope within this because as South Africans, that's what we do. We have to in this state. Babalwa, I'm going to start with you. Maybe can you explain to us what inflation is at its very base level?
In its very most basic level is the fact that when you and me were going to school, bread probably cost 2 rands, and today bread probably costs closer to 30 rands. It's the rate of increase of basic foodstuffs and everything really that we need for daily life. That's the basic explanation of what inflation is.
And it feels like we are feeling it, where previously there would be a choice. Okay, we're going to hit you hard this way, this year we're going to... But it feels like everything is being affected at the moment. Andy, the load shedding that is happening right now, on a practical kind of level, how much is that hitting the farming sector? How much of a difference have we seen over the last year in particular?
I think farmers are really worst off right now. Load shedding affects them the worst. So picture this. Our entire bread basket, our whole food security system hinges on farmers doing well. We have close to 40,000 commercial farmers in South Africa and over 200,000 small-scale farmers in South Africa. All of them require irrigation, which requires power so that the crops can grow, and they are compromised at the moment. So the direct effect of that is over the past year, onions have gone up 75%, potatoes have gone up 33%, bread and cereals have gone up by more than 20%. Yeah. And our view is the poor are being priced out because the farmer has to regain his cost somewhere, right? And so he passes that cost on. Exactly. He has to pass that cost on to a manufacturer that produces something or to a retailer that sells something. And so what we are finding is that this cost of living crisis is being further exacerbated by load shedding.
And then, of course, nutrients is not getting to the lower income bracket. And it's, you know, we love to see this in terms of financial trajectory, you know, a sine wave, but we forget that when it comes to food, this is kids, and we've spoken about this, children dying of starvation, 20 plus children dying of starvation. It brings to bear what the individual is going through, and it's lovely to look at the bigger picture and see, it's financial recession. It's how are the individuals in South Africa being affected? When we talk about individual inflation baskets, what do we mean, Babalwa?
It's the cost to feed my family, the cost to get to a job if I have one, the cost to look for a job if I don't have one. But this requires, of course, creative thinking, because you mentioned that we're resilient as South Africans, and I don't think that this is the first nor the last sort of bout of inflation. And so it's just about how creative we are. And instead of thinking, for example, of food as coming from commercial farmers only, do we have a garden patch? When there was water scarcity, we all learned to shower differently, you know, keep that water. And so instead of relying on the huge chain stores, can we make adjustments to minimize what we go to the shops for and grow our own spinach and our own vegetables? It's those small incremental changes in the individual lifestyles that then stretch our rand further. There are always opportunities to think differently and overcome.
And that's why we are this nation of entrepreneurs, because we see solutions when there are challenges. Here's the crazy thing, and I mean, I don't even know the statistics right now, but we could probably feed every South African with just the food we're throwing away every day, okay? Absolutely. Here comes to bear the food bank, the notion of sharing. In fact, the notion of Ubuntu. It's not a nice notion to have anymore. It's a must-have. We're going to continue this discussion in just a moment.
Well, listen, we need to get a delicious recipe up and going for you. And if you're looking for some dinner inspiration, this next summer recipe is absolutely perfect because we're about to show you how to make a very refreshing summer leek, well, we're making you a citrus leek salad, and we have just the dinner inspiration that you need. It's packed with flavor, and of course it also has that vitamin C kick that you need.
Yeah, and officially this is something that you can, if you press for time and only have 30 minutes before load shedding, can make. You can do this, and it's a great meat-free Monday alternative. So let's get straight into it. We're going to prepare this in less than 5 minutes. So what you have over there is leeks, which are already cut in half. So essentially, those are going to get roasted, but not roasted like any other roast, but we are going to add some citrus flavors to it.
We are adding our citrus flavor.
Yeah.
So
You've got some oranges.
Squeeze some orange juice
Beautiful.
over our leeks, as well as some lemons.
Yeah. And then once you've done that, some salt and pepper along with some oil.
Just give it a good squeeze.
Yes, bring it on.
Getting the citrus flavors in there. Just a little bit of olive oil.
Yeah.
Just a little dash.
That's going to allow it to roast and not just necessarily burn, because you want to bring that flavor through, and then some salt and pepper just to balance it all off. And then that simply gets popped into the oven at 180 for around, let's say 10, 15 minutes. Keep an eye on it. You don't want it to burn, like I did mention. So depending on how much oil you basted it on is going to determine kind of how roasty you get that. But for the sake of time, we fast forwarded and we've got it looking like this. So these are the leeks right now, beautifully roasted. Ooh, and you can just smell that earthy, nutty tone kind of coming from there.
And hopefully the citrus flavors too, is that coming through?
Yeah, so you're definitely getting that. I think the citrus actually balanced it out. Otherwise it would be too earthy and too much of a groundy feel for me. But I think it really just kind of spruces it up a bit and provides that extra balance that you do want. Now we're moving over to our dressing, which is really going to kind of bring this all together. We're going to go for two we call them discs, I think. So discs of feta, that's kind of be a good gauge on how much feta we're going to put into this. So 2 discs of feta are going to be mixed up and blended up with a quarter cup of milk, which is just getting popped in there. And as simple as that, once we blend this together, you're going to see how well they kind of create this lovely sort of...
and I love how this is a different twist to your normal feta, because we are giving it a bit of a smoother texture.
Yes, smoother texture.
You can be more fancy with it.
A fancier version, and also a creaminess to it as well. So it doesn't take long, as you can see. Blend that all up for about 3 more seconds, and already it's pretty much done. You've got a beautiful mixture that can kind of, like you said, smooth out. It's got that creaminess to it as well. Look at that. Ooh, perfection. So before we get into that, let me start layering the salad, because this is the fun part. And you can get creative with this. So if you have any favorites that you do have in mind, this is the time to bring them in. But what I'm going to do is start with the rocket. So we lay down some rocket as our sort of base for this. Another fresh sort of green. I don't know what it is about me. I don't know if it's like the fact that I don't like coriander that much, but there's certain lettuce that I just can't ingest. It has this bitter taste to it. I don't know what it's about, but that's why rocket for me is such a grand option. I think everybody loves it.
And a great alternative also is if you want to move away from the lettuce, use baby spinach.
Ooh, that is a great idea. I must remember that. Thank you very much. All right, so next up, we've got our leeks that have been beautifully roasted, and that's going to be rustically assorted on my plate, on my dish right now. So don't get too crazy, don't get too fancy. Just make sure that the flavor is there. And then on top of this, some color, vibrance, and that's where you're going to get all that micronutrient value. So we've got some pickled onion over here. This is just going to bring some beautiful color. Again, somewhat of I wouldn't say acidic, but a nice sort of... just a variation in that flavor again. We've got some oranges which have been peeled, and this is also going to be something that really just brings more of that citrus back. And you see now while it infuses with the leeks on their own when we do roast it up. So again, just bringing some of that back. And then some lime just to drizzle it all over. Again, we're making this fresh, we're making this vibrant, and it's really truly going to stand out. And last but not least, some sunflower seeds.
And then you have to also add what we've made, our delicious feta.
So that's our feta dip. This is like a little dollop of this everywhere.
A little dollop.
You don't have to go too crazy. Again, rustic is key.
There we go, Raul. This is such a great recipe. I love that you weighed in on our Good Morning post this morning on social media. We asked you if you only had 30 minutes to make a meal before load shedding kicks in, what will you make? We actually have a voice note that came through from Jocelyn. Let's listen to that one. Good morning.
What's up, Joss?
Hey, very good morning to my Expresso family. I will do a nice egg curry, meat-free egg curry. Thank you so much, Jocelyn. Bye.
Egg curry,
Well,
that sounds
interesting,
good.
actually. I know egg is obviously an alternative with regards to obviously a meat, right? And it's got good protein in it and a good fat as well. So that's actually quite clever.
And that, I mean, for us, it's you know, you try to want to make as much as you can within that 30-minute time frame. So if you want to get your hands on this delicious leek recipe salad that we've made, it is available on our website. You can get it at expressoshow.com, and it will take you less than 30 minutes to make and prepare.
Oh, and it smells so good. Unlock your 100% this week as we meet an aspiring young designer who dreams of creating a modest fashion brand that she can present to the world. We're gonna need to pull a few strings and I might need to weave some magic, but this can work.
I absolutely love it.
Feel luxuriously comfortable.
I feel expensive. I can't believe that is what I created.
This is gonna
love
rock.
It.
Unlock your 100%. Wednesday evenings at 7:30 on SABC2.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Oh, yes, Mzansi, welcome back. It's your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We're going straight back into it. We're back, of course, in studio with the multi-talented musician and performer, Mansoor Joseph, in the building. And, of course, his band is here with him. He's got a whole band, yeah. Now, they are doing this ahead of their Jawab to Love Valentine's Day concert. And we're going to be continuing our chat with them before their next performance. How's it been, man? How's the feelings being live, serving Mzansi right now, bruh?
It's always good to perform, eh? I love performing, bruh.
Yeah. Listen, I wanted to talk about the inspiration for you, your musical career, these performances.
Yeah.
I believe, obviously, your dad was quite a pivotal figure for you. Talk to me about how he inspired you to kind of pick this up, get your own band going, be on live TV performing and doing what you're passionate about.
Okay. So I mean, like for any kind of father, if they're musical, it's almost like expected. Their children's going to be musical as well, and you feel obligated to. Okay, I need to pick up the guitar and do something. But he wasn't forceful, but it was so loved. And I picked it up, and we just started jamming, and he taught me everything I know today.
So is he a guitarist as well?
Yes.
Okay.
A guitarist, a banjo player, a singer as well. So he took me with all these lekker gigs, you know, at weddings and stuff like that. And that's where I got my inspiration to perform.
Beautiful, man.
Ever since then, I love performing.
Expose you to the good stuff and let the flame within you. And that flame's taking you to so many places. Obviously, again, we've got this huge concert coming up. This is big, man. This is something you must celebrate. You're doing the things. I wanted to ask, how are you going to create that sort of feeling of love in the air? How are you going to keep people absolutely entertained on the night? What's the recipe you got going?
I think the recipe is very simple for us as Capetonians. This is music and your song choices, you know?
Yeah.
Where to tickle the, you know?
Bring a bit of nostalgia, like beats.
Because I'm also mad now, so you know we know about romance now.
Okay.
Because we are older now.
We're older, we're more mature, but of course we still have you out in the States. So Mzansi, don't go anywhere. This man's going to get prepped up and ready for something that you are going to love. Another performance in just a bit.
Oh, but we have to take a quick little break and have a little bit of fun. So what's going to happen now is we are going to spread the love. Now, if you like the taste of butter and want something that spreads easily, Clover Butro, made with the goodness of dairy, is for you. It is tasty, it is smooth and delectable. That buttery flavor can be enjoyed on just a about anything. Now, to prove this, we are having a very exciting blind taste test with a twist. Now, how it's going to happen is Graham is already in the kitchen with me. You have seen the delicious items we have in front of us.
I'm so hungry right now.
All of them paired with buttro. And we are putting a blindfold on Ryle. He's going to join us in the kitchen. And Graham, your task is going to be to describe the different items to Ryle, and he needs to guess. If he struggles, we'll let him taste as well to just make it a bit easier. Okay.
I wanted to taste first just to see this play out.
So I'll point to the item you need to describe.
Okay.
And then, G-Man, we're going to give you 15 seconds to try and explain to Ryle what is in front of him without giving it away.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes. Are we going to start with that one?
We're going to start with this one.
All right. It is, can I go?
Go for it.
It is a long vegetable that is yellow. It has lots of little individual
Banana.
No, and it's,
Tell him how you can cook it.
You can cook it on the braai, you can boil it, and it's quite nice with a char.
Like you can chow it in the movies, that thing. Corn.
Corn on the...
Yes!
Okay, here we go.
Sure, have a taste, man. Have a little taste of this, yeah, please.
Here in front of you, there's some yummy butter. Giving you that delicious
You got to find the buttro section. Okay.
Oh, that's good.
Buttro, better.
Okay. Where was this weekend?
I'll take that.
Nice. Thank you so much.
Go. Okay.
Okay.
Right, nice.
Now.
Should we just make him taste this one?
I think he'll get it. Okay, let's see. This one is a bread made out of a particular kind of fruit that is yellow as well, and it is absolutely delicious, and you would definitely have it with butter on it. A yellow fruit made into a bread.
Corn's not a fruit, so it wouldn't be cornbread. Banana bread?
Yes.
Banana loaf? Oh, yeah, okay.
Have a taste,
Take a bite.
Banana? Where is it?
Banana. Oh, sorry, you put your fingers in the buttro.
Oh, man. How does butter make everything just taste so much better?
Good, I know.
Tastes so much
There
better.
were a few more slices of that a little bit earlier, I won't lie.
Let me get some more of that later.
Okay, this next one. The debate rages on. In France, they call it a crepe. In South Africa, we call it something else entirely. You always have it with sugar and cinnamon and a thing
flapjack, a pancake?
Yes, boy.
Yes. Do I get to taste this one?
Yeah, all of them.
Where is it?
You can have as many of them as you want.
You're just putting your fingers on everything.
Oh, no, what's that?
Are you okay there? I feel like we are cheating here.
Oh, wow. Is there butter in here as well?
Yes,
wow.
Is it good?
On everything.
I've actually never tried it on this, and this is really good. Can I put it? Is there a plate here?
You can put it down. You can put it down. You can put it down.
I like how you are owning all the food, but you've touched almost everything on this table, so no one else can eat it.
Don't touch my hand.
Okay. Now this, yeah, this is exciting. It can either be open or closed.
Yes.
You make it out of 2 slices of something that is edible, and inside is something red, something green, and a meat that we normally have crispy. It is
like a burger?
Okay, but
sandwich thing?
Yes.
Like a meat sandwich? Pastrami sandwich?
What does BLT stand for?
Oh, bacon? No, I don't actually know. That's a very good question.
Yeah.
What is it? Bacon, lettuce, and tomato. Yeah.
Okay. Is it allowed? Can you say BLT, or is that giving it away?
I feel like we're giving it away.
And this bread looks proper, dude.
Gosh,
get it all, because you knocked half of the other one off already.
You've got a big sandwich. Ryle is enjoying all of the sandwiches.
Oh, you're having quite a diverse mix. Okay. So this next one is plain and simple. We've just sliced what you had previously. We've put it into something that cooks it, okay, that browns it. And then we've put something on top of it.
The buttro.
What? Wait, so you sliced up something earlier?
Yeah, you've already had a
like
BLT.
a banana split.
There's even a saying, there's even a saying, the best thing since slice.
Bread?
Uh-huh. And then you put it into something to cook it, and it becomes...
a sandwich?
Just not so fancy.
A toasty?
Yes.
No, okay. Sorry.
It's toast.
Okay, firstly, this is probably the best thing that you can put butter on.
I know.
I still got like BLT in me. Just hang on.
And we've got, this looks like a farm-style bread that's just popping. Look at that.
You know,
Hey?
it's just simple things in life, guys. That's right
It
here.
really is. Do you want to pop that back?
Dude, you're having like the best breakfast ever here.
It's like a
Well
fun.
done, buddy. Well done. Okay, one more.
All right, one more. Bring it on. Bring the buffet
This
on.
one you get a spoon.
Okay, this one we have traditionally for breakfast. It is a porridge that is made out of the little bits of the yellow thing we spoke about earlier that is then crushed down, added hot water, and it forms a porridge known as...
What is that, like a cheapers? Not
So you don't have oats, you have, what is the other kind of breakfast
oats,
porridge?
not porridge. I don't know, actually.
Actually, I've been told this is the vegetable. So it's actually
Oh,
not
is this-
the breakfast. This is what you
okay.
serve with a dinner or a lunch. So if you take a...
If you're having pork bangers, you would have it with?
Mash.
Boom.
Oh, is this
Boom.
Nice.
I actually thought it was a porridge. Look at that.
Can I go in?
Look, you can go for it.
I'm
And
gonna
we
have a little
also
taste
obviously
as well.
served with a dollop of butter.
Oh, how good is that?
A butter buffet. This has been the best moment ever on the show.
There we go.
Should
This
we
is
help
good.
you out?
This is good. Thank you so much. Yeah. Can I take the blindfold off?
Zoe, I think we must just walk away and leave him standing here with the blindfold on
Just
for
ate
about 5 minutes.
everything. Tried everything. Well,
Thank you.
listen, it's made with the goodness of dairy, clover batcho. It is tasty, it is smooth, and it's easy to spread. And spreading batcho onto the bagel before toasting it gives it that delectable buttery flavor. Make a double batch because this tasty pasta is perfect for sharing with your guests. And I mean, I'm talking about all the delicious things that we've just made that batcho just goes so beautifully with. So whether it is sweet or savory, there's so many ways to spread the goodness of dairy. And after the break, we will show you just how you can enjoy this buttery flavor of clover batcho in a very sweet recipe. So stay tuned for that.
There's more? There's more, my bro?
There's more.
Bring it on.
I'd love another one, please, Mommy. With batcho and lots of jam.
Another sandwich.
Clover Batro. Spread the dairy goodness.
Made with love by Clover.
All right, so we just had a great conversation once again with the man who's bringing the love, bringing the magic when it comes to their Valentine's Day concert. But right now, here's another taste of what you can expect. It is an absolutely incredible song. I'm going to try to do justice to pronouncing this, but I do apologize. So I think it goes, Entre dos aguas, Paco de Lucia. I don't know what it means. It's got some Spanish infusions, and you're going to absolutely love it. Here's Mansoor Joseph once again. Enjoy.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back as we continue a very important and rather difficult discussion at the moment, talking about the impact that load shedding has had on food security in particular and inflation here in South Africa. And chatting to us this morning about this very concerning issue is financial expert and podcaster Babalwa Nonkange and Managing Director and Food Justice Activist Andy du Plessis. You, Andy, must be feeling like, finally the rest of the world is focused on food security, because it's not like before COVID hit, we didn't have a crisis already.
Exactly.
But now at least all eyes are on this because, well, we can't look away anymore.
100%, you make a good point. So prior to COVID, we were already in a crisis. 27% of our children up to the age of 5 years suffered from malnutrition. 50% of child deaths are attributed to malnutrition. Was in hospitals, child deaths in hospitals are attributed to malnutrition. So what COVID has done, it's highlighted the fact that food insecurity is key for the rest of us, our whole economy, to be able to thrive. We must get that right. The World Economic Forum has stated that over the next 2 years, that the cost of living crisis is the greatest threat globally. And South Africa, it's exacerbated by us because we've got high unemployment, low economic growth, load shedding,
We just don't have a buffer. Yeah.
Exactly.
In the UK, they have a buffer. They still can't fill their tanks up with petrol. They are still struggling to get the basic necessities. Yeah, we talk about, and I was very lightly joking about the notion of Ubuntu because we use it so freely. Now it has become a necessity, and we have to think about it from every angle. An employer, for instance, how can an employer help to ease the burden that is on their employees now? Because I have a feeling unless we get help from other sectors, as you say, the poorest of the poor are just being priced out and left behind.
So while hungry employees are no good at performance, and we know that employees are broke and that we can't rely on one source of income. And so I think employers need to understand that people are going to be looking beyond just their salary. But we've been in a few corporates with programs and interventions because it's about education. So employers are showing up. There are employers that are showing up as empathetic and not just expecting performance, but providing training programs and education, because it has to start in the informing of our minds as well as the change in behavior. And so more and more employers need to get on that page because individuals aren't just performing employees, but they're also individuals who need to be capacitated with the skills that are good for their own personal financial lives, but will make them better employees.
Yeah, otherwise they become a burden to that company at a later point.
Completely.
We all share the same ecosystem.
Yeah.
It sounds so simple when I say it like that, Andy. I have leftover food on my plate. Why can I not just give that directly to the child that is starving? And when we talk about malnutrition in that critical phase, those kids are stunted for the rest of their lives.
Exactly. It's irreversible.
Education, every facet of life that's, again, more burden on the state, on the employers, on the school. Sustainable, what is that word? Does that word even exist anymore? So what is the sustainable option to food security? In your heart of hearts and your head of heads that has been in this space, where do we go?
Yeah, so absolutely, you know what we need to do better in a country that has enough food to feed all its people. We need to connect the dots better. So throughout that whole food value chain, over 10 million tons of food is lost or wasted, according to the CSIR technical report. And what we need to now do is, it's the low-hanging fruit, because with 30 million people suffering food insecurity for 1 or 2 weeks of every single month, and this includes people on social grants.
That's half of our population,
by the way. That's half our population.
That's half of our country.
Exactly. And these are people on social grants as well. Their money doesn't stretch. These are people that's earning minimum wage and their money doesn't stretch, along with households that have no income at all. So we need to do better to extract that 10 million tons. If we were able to save 5 million of that 10 million tons, we can give every hungry South Africans 2 meals a day for a whole year, every single year. And so we need to work with farmers, wholesalers, retailers, manufacturers, and throughout that whole food value chain in between to be able to make sure that we extract that food.
That value chain. We're all part of one chain. We are all links. You talk about empowering yourself with possibly different forms of income. If I have to hone in on that word from a financial perspective, how do we empower ourselves with the right tools or weapons to fight the financial war that we are in right now? Babalwa, what is your advice to people right now?
It's don't be complacent and think that all you know is all that there is to know. That's why podcasts such as Epokutweni, a free resource, are available for anyone to find on your phone, on your mobile. There's many other such resources. That's the beauty of technology these days. Don't be on social media to scroll and see what the celebrity is doing, but learn ways that people all over the world are monetizing and earning foreign currency income from the comfort of their own homes. It's about changing your mindset, thinking creatively, and consuming as much knowledge and information as possible to address your particular pain points and to better your situation.
And fake it till you make it, man. If we've learned anything on social media is that you really can do anything. But I think it's a case of connecting the dots here in South Africa. And as both of these incredible human beings have pointed out, you see problems, yes, but rather choose to see solutions. Go and talk to your network, find solutions to these problems because we're all in it together.
Well, if you've got a problem in the kitchen, here's a solution right now. It's a homemade donut. It can be time-consuming, but our foolproof Batro air fryer donuts with scrumptious buttery flavors are so easy to whip up. Now, you can make a big batch because these deserve to be shared with your loved ones. Of course, that moment of love coming very soon. And do not say we didn't warn you. See what I did there?
See what you did there.
So, yeah, we're doing this, yeah?
We are, yes. So you've got all the ingredients
Cool.
for our batter in front of you, some flour as well as some sugar, and you've got your wet ingredients, which is your eggs and your milk, and then we've also got some salt as well as some yeast. That's all going to be mixed together with 6 spoons of our delicious clover Batro.
Okay, let me get on that. So I've just put the sugar in, we've got the salt, some yeast going in as well, and then we've got about 1.5 cups of milk. So that will go in there. We've got our egg also in that mixture. And then, of course, as you heard, bring on the buttery goodness. 6 tablespoons of Batro going in. And this is obviously all going to get mixed up into a beautiful batter. While I'm doing this, let me talk to you about Batro right now because it's been doing the things this morning. Let me make sure I don't lose count. The extra one's not going to hurt anyone though. But of course, this is made with the goodness of dairy clover, and Batro is tasty, it's smooth, and it's easy to spread. You've seen it on the show all morning. It's so delicious too. And whether it's a sweet or savory dish, incorporating Batro into the dough will give these donuts a delectable buttery flavor. And who is honestly going to say no to that? So I might have lost count. Oopsie, I put another one in. Don't kill me.
Don't think it will do any harm. It will just add more flavor for us.
Yeah, so once this essentially is all mixed up into a beautiful doughy batter, you end up with something like what Zoe is working with over there.
Yes, so I try to roll it out, but I actually think it's just going to be easier if I use my hands.
Okay.
We're going to go with 2 little pieces, and then we're just going to give it a bit of a twist.
Oh, we're being fancy.
And you can do it a twist, you can do a little braid.
Yeah.
If you want to do it that way.
Challenge yourself with your creativity on this one. I like that.
Definitely. So I've got to do 2 of these and then just give it a bit of a twist.
And again, I know it sounds so silly, but honestly, when working with things like this and rolling the dough, having flour on the base really helps. I often forget this step, and then I keep forgetting, oh no, why is it sticking? Of course, you don't have flour on, so make it a little bit easier for yourself and just layer your base, whatever surface you're working on with some of that flour. It really helps a lot.
And I love that we are using the air fryer. I mean, I never thought we would put donuts into an air fryer.
I feel like there's almost anything and almost everything can be made in the air fryer right now. When you talk about convenience especially, I think it's something that a lot of South Africans are getting used to using as like a primary source of dinner, snacks, and anything else when it comes to the machinery you use. And just another way to create something special, a donut in an air fryer.
We are doing donuts in the air fryer. You'll put this on at 180 degrees for 15 minutes, and you just hit start, and there we go. It should get going. Once that comes out, you then get to finish it off with, you can make your own little syrup, or you can simply just serve it with a little bit of cinnamon sugar. So I'm going to just give it a bit of a drizzle. Of course, we need to maybe get someone to come and taste, so we can maybe ask our financial expert to come and join us, Babalwa, to come and give this a taste.
Babal, would you like to maybe come over and have a taste of our donuts? We've made them with extra love just for you. Let's see if Babal is in the building. Welcome, milady.
You made it just now.
This is just for you. Yes. So we've prepared some beautiful donuts.
You're welcome to try some if you want.
See if you can pick up on all the buttery goodness in it too.
You like that?
Very good.
Well, there we go. If you want to get your hands on this recipe, it is available on our website, expressoshow.com. And of course, using butter really just adds that nice buttery flavor to our delicious donuts. There we go. Thank you.
It is indeed. Hope you enjoyed it.
I'd love another one, please, Mommy, with bacho and lots of jam.
Another sandwich.
Clover Batro. Spread the dairy goodness.
Made with love by Clover.
Sensodyne, repair, and protect with deep repair. The science is pretty amazing. It really goes deep and repairs tooth sensitivity. The science is there. It's going to improve their quality of life in a big way. This is the first thing I recommend.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, Mzansi, welcome back. Of course, it is your feel-good breakfast show, full of energy and full of all the good stuff. And hey, speaking of energy and engagement, we've still got Mansoor Josephs. The man is so full of skills and talent. Now, he's proved that this morning already, but we've got one more performance that he's going to deliver to us. Before we do, I think I've got to do something big. I need to celebrate with you, my man, because I believe you're expecting a baby, you and the wife.
Yes,
Yeah, congratulations,
yes.
man.
Thanks, man. Thanks,
How's
man.
it feel? So Valentine's Day plans are sorted? You got the baby on the way?
Yeah, it will be sorted every year from now because we're having Jawa.
Okay, nice. I like that, man. Look, again, talking about everything that's been celebrated, you got the concert coming up, but you guys also perform at various events, right?
yes.
Weddings, you name it, any celebration. If people want to get some of your flavor at the events, how do they book you? How do they secure you? How do they make sure that their day is just perfection?
No, it's simple. You catch me on Instagram. You go on my Instagram, you can book me via email, you can call me. I'm there, like a bear.
I'm there like a bear. The man's ready to show up and serve and entertain us. Right now, we've got another one to get you into the mood. It's called City Love Songs, and Mansoor Joseph and the band are here to send us home. Take it away, brother.
1, 2, 3.
Some people want to fill the world
yes.
Are you feeling it?
I know you're saying that to the whole of Mzansi because we're all feeling loved right now, man. Thank you so much. Everyone's like, it was for me, it was for me. Listen, you guys are incredible. We learned so much today. I learned that you actually have an incredible voice.
Thank you.
You, my man, can gooi it when it comes to those strings. And this thing over here is the coolest thing ever. What is this called again?
A cajon.
A cajon, man. For me, it's the cajon. It stole the show. It brings that like authentic gears,
yes.
that culture. I know our Mensa can't not move when we hear that. It comes in the skouers first.
Lightly salted. It's good. Lightly salted.
Yeah, take us away with a beat, man. Let's send us some. Two. Zanzi, we love you. Thank you for coming through this Friday morning. Have a beautiful start to your week. It's the... What is it? It's the celebration of love coming up. Yeah. Yeah. We love you, Zanzi. Woo! Oh, you guys are epic, man. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Whew. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Brother, just one more time. Your event, this day, it's been exceptional. Where can we get tickets? Because clearly, we need to like, we need to subscribe, we need to sign up.
Of course. So the event is happening at Akama Estate in Constantia on the 14th of February, Valentine's Day. You can contact me on 0607532921. 0607532921.
You heard it, Mzansi. Thank you so much once again. Let's send us home. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time. Let's play it out for the people. Bring on the love!
Try those new cookbook recipes out this year, or stick with the timeless classics. Either way, they'll always taste their best when made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.